It's the now and here, gaming tales you need to hear. Laugh and shout and sometimes sneer. Memories from all those years. Console wars and secret tips. Tips and tricks from pixel trips. News that pours from gaming sips. Critical minds and candid lips. And Generation X gaming show. Tune in where the thoughts flow. Rant and rave with words that glow. Weekly stories make them go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another week, another episode of Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week and we rant along the way. I'm your host, 30 and Still Gaming, and joining me each and every single week. What happened, Sarge? It's
My
Sarge
chair,
Mclusky.
my chair blew out.
Did you just pop your chair, dude?
My chair just popped.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, if you're on the YouTube, there's two versions. There's a vertical version and then there's a normal version. Again.
My chair blew out and my camera.
I'm a man of the people. People asked for vertical version, so we gave vertical version. So if you're on the vertical version, enjoy. If you're on the regular version, enjoy. And if you're on Twitter, enjoy. Appreciate it very much. Generation X Gaming, a weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories in the past week, and we rant along the way. We're here with Midget Sarge. He's from RV There Yet. He's getting into character. Did you really break your chair just now?
I think my chair just blew out.
You can't go up.
I'm gonna try it again.
You're gonna have to like take a thing and like.
Let's see if it stays.
Yeah.
I just got back from vacation.
Yeah, well, you ate too much or something.
I mean that's possible,
Yeah,
but
broke your chair.
I didn't really eat a lot.
Good evening, chat. On today's show for episode 497, we're going to be talking about Bethesda. We're going to be talking about Xbox. We're going to be talking about Sony. We're going to be talking about Ubisoft. We're going to talk about Elder Scrolls Online. We're going to talk about physical digital games. We're going to talk about people folding like lawn chairs. We're going to be talking about premium games going up in price. We're going to talk about GTA. We're going to be talking about the game industry, veterans talking about, to survive, the new consoles are going to have to innovate. And yet people are also asking, why are they making new consoles? So we'll talk about that as well. And then we'll also talk about the movie industry. Kevin Feige came out and announced a bunch of stuff for Marvel in the future. So we'll talk about that as well. You guys can help us out here by hitting that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you have to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We do a daily show Monday through Thursday, and this show ends the week 8 p.m. Eastern on Thursday nights. How's it going, Sarge? How you been? How was your vacation? I had a vacation. You had a vacation.
I basically disconnected. I had no idea what anything was going on until I think Monday morning when I started looking at things again. But the entire last week I looked at nothing. I didn't touch my phone. I once or twice, I think, during the week, or I said thank you for people sending me birthday wishes. But after that, I didn't go on my phone. I found the perfect mix of tequila, painkillers, and a jacuzzi, where basically I zoned out. Like I left the planet and I visited other worlds for like 3 days. It's fantastic.
I don't think my vacation was like that, but we went to Cocoa Beach. We were on the beach for 2 days. I mean, you couldn't ask for more. I hate the beach, by the way.
I think I'm sunburned. I don't think this is the camera.
Yeah, no, you look sunburned. We had the perfect day. The ocean was like big enough waves to boogie board and body surf, but not tremendous where you're like drowning. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just nice constant. Water temperature was fantastic. Cocoa Beach is real nice. It doesn't have it. I mean, shells, and not like South Florida, but it's also not like as like Tampa and the Gulf of Mexico where it's like that powdery, like white powder. Different white powder in Miami. But yeah, like the beach is just awesome there. It was a good time. Good time.
It was a relaxing week.
Yeah. I came across a new show for me. I mentioned to you last night. Yeah. New show for me, right? I watched the Goldbergs when we were on vacation. Holy Christ, that
That's
show!
that's our childhood.
It's our childhood. It's so funny. I laugh multiple times throughout the show, like each episode. And I was like, so Frank was like telling me about it. I was like, what is this? He's like, it's the Goldbergs. I was like, the what? It's like the Goldbergs. It's like it's been out for 10 years. I was like, 10 years. I was like, when did it start? He's like, 2013.
Your kids and Tally growing up during
Yes.
you raising your kids when the show was on.
Yes. I completely, we stopped having cable and stuff like that. So I was like 10 seasons. So I got a lot of stuff to catch up on, right? We're on episode 18 of season 1. So I got a lot of stuff to
It's a good show. Definitely a good show. Now, when you watch a few more times, you tell me who the people are in real life that are the characters in the movie in the show.
Mm.
You gotta tell me now.
you're talking about like
You got to give it a couple seasons
associate them with the actual people that we knew.
with the people that we knew. Yeah.
Okay. I'll do that. I'll do the homework and tell you. All right. Let's get to well, you didn't play much, I guess, last week, huh? Because you were on vacation.
I played the last 4 days though.
Oh, okay. So we can have a segment today.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go to what we've been playing. So what have you been playing, Sarge? A whole week? Actually,
Well,
2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks since our last show.
in honor of the glory years of video gaming and the looking forward to seeing what they do with it, I went and I found the definitive edition of Grand Theft Auto as the three games in the trilogy.
You were mentioning it before we went on break.
Yeah. So I'm playing them in order, time order, not release order.
Gotcha.
So right now I'm playing Vice City. I'm almost done, and then I'm going to go to San Andreas, and then I'm going to play Grand Theft Auto 3.
Okay. Are you getting ready? Are you gonna buy Grand Theft Auto 6?
I mean, it's never day one.
Obviously,
I'll
I know you're not going to buy it day one, but
we'll see.
Yeah.
I listen. There is so much pent up frustration, joy, anger about this game being this long that I just want it to come out, and I want people to play it and then talk to me about it so I know. Because remember, we talked about this multiple times. I have said, and I'll say it again on record, I believe that Grand Theft Auto 5 will be considered a peak, and I don't think this one will do as well. I think because of the hype train behind it, I think everyone thinks it will. We will see once it comes out.
Yeah, I want to see because it's not the same Rockstar that was there 13 years ago.
It is not the same people.
So
it is not the same people.
We'll see.
As a matter of fact, the term "it's not the same people" is going to be for every IP that you think you love, because everybody who made those games, it's time for them to retire. Like everybody's retiring. Like every couple years now, all the guys that you grew up with for the games that you played that you loved are all retired or gone. That's it.
Yeah. So you're playing.
We will see. So we will see if the new people know how to make a Grand Theft Auto game.
Ray said the tech will be there. Yeah, I think the tech will be there. It'll just be like how the story's going to be. Well, there was time. Okay, so speaking of Grand Theft Auto for just a second here, there was stories years ago before the leaks came out, right? That we don't do politics on the show, but when the other administration was in office, they were saying, because there was even rumors when Trump was in office the first time, right? From 2016 to 2020, they were talking about Grand Theft Auto, and we had shows, GXG. We're talking about, when's it coming out? It could be coming out in 2021, 2022. And there was an article that
Krebsy's he was pretty much right on.
Well, there was articles talking about how they don't want to release it during that Trump era, and they were thinking about releasing it in the Biden era, and they were changing the way they made fun of certain people in the game. Like the writers were changing things. They didn't want it to be as harsh or whatever it was, where they used to make fun of everybody.
Supposed to be.
Yeah, supposed to be. Then there was talks about changing the way the cops are and stuff like that, the way they because there was that whole stuff that was going on with the cops, and so there was all this stuff happening, and then now it's back on course, right? Because now there's another new administration, because that's how long it's been. It's been 3 fucking administrations since the last 4
correct.
administrations since the last Grand Theft Auto. So there was a lot of rewrites, right? And then the head left the studio, then another guy left the studio, then a big producer left the studio to go make a Mind's Eye, right? And all the big guys that were there for Grand Theft Auto left, and obviously a lot of the developers, I'm not going to say like all of them left, but there's a lot of people that are not there anymore. So these people didn't make the last Grand Theft Auto you worked on, right? Just like the people that worked at Battlefield 6 didn't make Battlefield 5 and Battlefield 1, right? So they change all the time. So look, I'm not saying I want Grand Theft Auto to be shitty in any way, shape, or form. I love Grand Theft Auto, but I'm just saying expectations are super high, and hopefully they can hit that mark.
Well, here's how you have to look at it, right? Because if you follow GTA, I followed it for a while, right? So when Vice City came out, you guys have to remember, for those of you who don't know, when Vice City came out, it was supposed to originally be a DLC for the first game, the GTA 3.
Yeah.
Right? Instead, they made it its own game. Now, the issue with this was they made it a full game, but it was 2 years after
The last
GTA 3 came out. So now we all listen. I was young at the time too, but I go back and I look at it. Right? I go back and I look at it on the PC version. I have it on PC as well. I go around. I'm flying around, and I just look at all the emptiness that is in that game. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Now, this is before I have the wisdom that I have today, but I look back at that and I go, "This is all half-assed, not finished." All the empty spaces inside that game, like when you're driving around and flying around, you see all those empty spaces inside. I'm not talking about the empty spaces on the edge of the map.
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking
in
about.
the game, right? Because it was rushed, because it came out 2 years after 3. So now, during that time between the release of GTA 3 and San Andreas, there was a big gap, a big chunk of time for them to work on it, and then
There was so much to do in San Andreas.
And look what you got at San Andreas, right? That was ridiculousness in San Andreas. Now, the reason why we're back in Vice City is because they want to do it the right way. That's why they went back.
That's what I would assume, right?
Because otherwise, you would go to like Japan or Chicago, or you would do a different city.
Yeah, it's sort of like Lucas when he was making Star Wars and then made the remakes of not the remakes
because he
didn't get to do because that technology caught up to what he wanted to do. That's why they're doing Vice City the way they're doing now.
So they're going back to Vice City because they want to do it the right way, just like they redid Grand Theft Auto 4 back in Liberty City. Same shit. Why wouldn't you just pick a different town?
Yeah.
Right. Continue the story up because they wanted to do what they wanted to do the first time and they couldn't.
Well, it also makes perfect sense now because of so many remasters and remakes that you revisit that. And then we've talked about this years ago, how the online aspect, you might be able to get in the plane and fly to Liberty City, fly to San Andreas.
I sent you the vid. I sent you the vid. Didn't you watch that vid of the modders that made it?
No.
Oh, next. We can't even begin.
I did
talk about this right now.
I did see a guy make the portals in. So he had every game inside the game, and you could just walk through the portal. And you were in that.
I'm talking about the modders that put all 3 games together, and they filled out the middle of the country. They put everything in there. They put everything in there.
Wow.
Yeah, the one we talked about. The one we talked about, where you get to fly a plane to each of the cities if you want to fly to. Yeah, that's
so
real.
a modder did that.
That's real. Yeah.
Yeah. What else have you been playing, Sarge? You been playing anything else?
Oh no, that's it. When I got back into town, I started playing that because it came in the mail and it was just sitting on the counter waiting.
Yeah, so I've been playing Pal World, like non-stop Pal World.
I've seen you've been playing Pal World.
Yeah, I've been playing Pal World.
Is it as good as everybody's talking about?
Yeah, it's a good game. It was good when I played it 2 years ago when it came out originally. I had a blast playing it. But I said to myself, I was like, I'll just stop playing when they come out with the full launch. I'll go back. Well, now it's the full launch. And there's so much stuff inside this game, and there's the world is gigantic, right? There's so many. There's like 287 or 247 pals that you can collect inside the game. There's so many like breeding things which I haven't even unlocked yet. The boss fights, the different islands. There's an end game that I'm not even I'm not even in mid game, let
I
alone
heard
end game.
it's very addicting for the collectability aspect of
Yeah,
people
there's
who like to
just
collect.
constant. There's always something to do, someone to collect, someone to upgrade, something to it's very good. And what blows my mind when you look at something like this is that it's $30 and less, right? It's on sale right now. I bought it 2 years ago at 20. I think it was like 20, 21, something like that. And now it was on sale for the first, because of the launch. But then it goes up to $30. And you look at a game like this, and remember, this game, when it originally came out, cost them $6 million. Not 60 million, not 600 million, $6 million. Now, obviously, in the 2 years' time, they've added more to it. So let's just round it up to, I don't know, $10 million. Okay. So you have this game that's $30. They've surpassed 40 million sales, by the way. But games have to be $100, Sarge. They have to be $400 million, $300 million. Otherwise, these companies just can't make it. And then Power World's like, here you go. On top of the lawsuit that they're with Nintendo for patents and whatnot, they're like, yeah, whatever. We're just going to keep going. They have a trading card game coming out for Power World. Already sold out. Right? Already sold out. 3 million copies, 3.1 million copies of cards sold out. Right? So this is like a phenomenon, right? And there's people out there that are trying to talk at this and go, well, they had 2 billion people that played it 2 years ago, and there's only 1 million people playing it now concurrently on Steam. It's like
because
that's
those
not
people,
that's not a loss, buddy. That's a win, right? There's so many other games that are out, and there's 1 million people that came back to play this game concurrently. By the way, there's way more people playing the actual game. It's just a really fun game. It's a really good game. But the reason it's fun is that you're like the pals are your, like, you could ride them, right? They make you more powerful. You're helping them. They're helping you. It's not like Pokemon where they're fighting and you're just kind of just sitting there letting them like do the fight. It's just very good. And on top of that, I haven't played with anybody, but you can play with a lot of people could be on the server. I think it's up to 16 people. I think could be on the server. So people are having their own servers.
Play with your boys.
A lot of open world survival game type of stuff like this out there. So,
but it's good. But it's good to have a game like that because it shuts down the argument about how these games are supposed to be. Right. That's the good part about it. Is that when a game like that releases, it shuts down all the narratives that all these the journalists keep coming up with about how games are supposed to be or how much they have to be or what's supposed to happen. I appreciate when a game, I won't say this one like slips through the cracks, but I appreciate when it's like out of nowhere and like it freaks out a company so bad that they have to be sued. That's how badly it freaked them out, right? Nintendo got freaked out because they have competition and had to sue them
for the patents. Yeah,
does it? The reason is not for patents.
That's what the lawsuit was. No, I know what you're saying. I know.
Yes, you need a reason to sue.
Yes,
but the reason why you decided to pick that reason to sue is because you would get your ass handed to you because you released crappy games and competition made you wake up. That's the difference. That's the difference, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Oh, did I tell you? I didn't look anything up. I looked nothing up. I was able to find 84 out of 100 of the hidden packages in that game from memory.
I thought you were
from memory. No, from memory.
I thought you were going to say that you found all the cars from the Grand Theft Auto list. You used to love doing.
Oh, I finished. I know where to go to find the car. But what I'm saying is 84 out of 100 from memory. Not too bad. Not too bad. Can't remember friends' birthdays, but I got GTA packages in my head.
Yeah, like when's your birthday? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Make a left here. Make a right. Go down the alley. All right, over there.
Yep.
Tuck to right there. There you go.
Behind the dumpster.
That's package number 1. All right, now 2. Now you go. All right. All right, we're gonna go to. There's a lot of stories to cover, so let's get to top stories. All right, so Generation X Gaming, because we cover the weekly stories, right? We were gone off of 1 week, so there's a lot of stories that we're not covering, and this one's like on a tail end, right? So we're going to start off with Bethesda here. Okay, we're going to start off with Bethesda.
Old news.
Yeah, it's almost old news. Oh, where is it? So
is it more? It's more than 72 hours. It's old news.
Basically. So Bethesda got visited by the Grim Reaper, which is Asha Sharma. And Asha Sharma knocked on Todd's door and was like, Hey, Todd, how are you? I'm Asha. I don't know if we've ever formally met. He's like, yeah, okay, yeah. What can I do for you, Asha? She's like, yeah, I don't know if you heard this, but we let go of a lot of people, and we need some good vibes here because I told everybody that we're gonna make Elder Scrolls 6 and we're gonna make Fallout 5, and so you need to make a blog. You need to make a blog post. You need to go over everything that I'm telling you right now. Are you writing this down, Todd? Are you writing this down? And he's like, yes, Asha. Hold on one second. Let me get this paper.
They weren't doing anything. You know that, right?
No,
they were doing
like
nothing.
comatose. They were lost in 1,000 planets.
They have been doing nothing.
Yeah, they were lost in the 1,000 planets.
Imagine where you would be if when he actually said there was pre-production going on. Where would the game be right now? We know there was no pre-production going on at that point.
Yeah, pre-production meaning they drew the logo on a napkin at the bar. That was pre-production.
Well, they had to hire a couple guys to make that little scenic thing of him riding around through the air to give you the little title for Elder Scrolls 6 coming out and make everyone all crazy.
Yeah,
like that probably took a couple weeks.
So here I'll read it out. We'll get it as fast as possible here. It says, a note from Bethesda Game Studios, right? We love making these worlds as much as you love playing them. Today, we want to share the next Bethesda Game Studios and what you can expect from us the years ahead. So I'm 48 now, so by the time I'm 60, I think I get
Todd will be retired. Todd will be retired.
I think I get a Fallout 5 by that time, right? So for 40 years, okay, we built games that have entertained half of the billion players, and more than just games, we've also worlds to explore, shape, and make your own worlds. We return together. This is what driving us forward, and we're investing more deeply into the world players love, giving creators bigger roles and shaping up the experience and bringing us the teams closer together, right? So Starfield continues. I know everyone's like, I hate Starfield. No one likes Starfield. I like Starfield. I have over 200 hours in the game. I don't think it's the greatest game ever, but I enjoyed my time in Starfield. Main story is absolute garbage. Side missions, much better, right? Starfield, with over 17 million players. Again, we don't know the actual sales, but we know there's players. Okay, logging almost 1 billion hours to date. Starfield remains an important part of the future as we enter year 3, and we continue expanding the settled systems and the new stories, targeted gameplay improvements, and additional updates while preparing for the launch of a new Starborn content next year. More content, 40% of the players already customized the experience through creation, and this will continue investing into creators and giving players new ways to make Starfield their own. Okay. Then we have created by players. We've believed at the beginning of this world, we belong only to the people who make them, but also the people who also play them. This is why we're also long provided players with the tools to create their own experiences, dating back to Morrowind's construction set. This year marked another major milestone for creation with the expansion to Fallout 4, joining Skyrim and Starfield. To be proud to say, creators have already earned more than 10 million in royalties from their work. Okay. Then we have the future of Fallout. Okay. Now we had no Fallout, Sarge. And now you're gonna have an abundance of Fallout all come out at once. You have the future of Fallout. The Fallout is one of the biggest priorities today. I mean, we could have told you that back before you made the TV show and stuff. Fallout 5 remains our long-range destination, and we have multiple Fallout projects in active development right now. Fallout 76 continues to be home to millions of players exploring Appalachia together with nearly 70 free updates released to date and Journey of Us over. In fact, the major Fallout 76 expansion planned for next year, Raven Rock, a prequel story to Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, the most award-winning game in the franchise, just celebrated its 10th. I can't believe it's been 10 years. That can't be 10 years of Fallout 4, not 10 years of Fallout 76, right? It's 8 years of Fallout 76. Recently passed over 35 million copies sold, continue to attract new. No, I guess it is 35 million. I guess it is Fallout 76. That's crazy. We also know many players want to revisit previous Fallout experiences. While we're not announcing any dates today, we have been working on a remaster for both Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas.
You know, they were told. Okay. They were told to make it.
Right.
They weren't making it. They were told.
TikTok, Todd. TikTok. Right.
Yeah, they were told. They lost Fallout. I think Obsidian is going to make it for them because they're not making anything.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think they lost anything. They lost everything when Microsoft was like, hey, we own ZeniMax and Bethesda now. So Microsoft, they lost it when Microsoft bought them. Because I said this when they got bought out. I said they could take the franchise and give it to anybody they want, right? They did it with Fable. They did it with other games. They're just like, here, this is yours. This is what you're working on. And that's what they should do because they own IPs.
Yeah, but they waited too long to actually make the damn game.
100%.
Now they said, Obsidian, you're making Fallout, and they go, we don't want to make Fallout. You're making Fallout.
Right.
That's where we are now. So how do you think that game's going to come out? if you're making a studio make it doesn't want to make it.
Right.
As opposed to the team who's sitting on their hands for 8 years.
Well, again, 1,000 Planets. Fallout Shelter continues to be the most popular way to experience Fallout on the go. With more than 250 million players, they're more ahead of Fallout Shelter, including new seasons, unscripted Fallout Shelter television projects also in the works with the partners of Amazon Studio and Keller Films. We've also like to congratulate Keller Films, Amazon Studios for the 10 Emmy Awards nominations for Fallout Season 2. Production of Season 3 is already underway. And there's also a host of traditional Fallout Day broadcasts this year. And we're already planning something special for Fallout's 30th anniversary in 2027. Now, the studio collaborations. The Wasteland continues to expand as the team up once again with our longtime friends. I love how they have to put this because there's like this, you know, the story behind Obsidian and Bethesda, right?
They don't like each other.
Yeah, well, right. That's the story behind the scenes. They don't like
each other.
But every time it's brought up, they're like, yeah, no, we're fine. We're cool. And so they have to put this, our friends.
When you say stuff like this,
yeah,
it's because things have been said and you're trying to iron out that wrinkle.
Right.
Yeah, you wouldn't need to say that. You guys all work together. You guys already should be friends. You don't have two enemies working with each other, right?
Right. So it says Wasteland continues to expand with our longtime friends at Obsidian Entertainment. And we're happy to confirm that they're working with us on a new Fallout project with have them more to share in the future. See, they have to say with us because
they're doing their homework for them.
Right.
Yeah.
We're also bringing our teams closer together across Bethesda and ZeniMax online studios. We'll partner closely with Bethesda Game Studios on the Elder Scrolls franchise. We'll continue to deliver incredible new experiences in Elder Scrolls Online. Season 1, Return of the Thieves Guild, recently launched, and the team has more planned for the future. By aligning more directly across the franchise, we can create even better experiences for players, bringing our teams closer together and helping to build stronger foundations, right?
Yeah, but you see that, go back up a little bit. You see the phrase, you see as we keep up once again, we also bring our teams closer together across Bethesda, meaning you are stealing people from everywhere to put them in a room together because now you have to work on something.
Yeah, all hands on deck.
That's the translation of that. It's not like we're all having a good time. We're going to get together and make a game. It's like, nope, it's time to actually make a game. We got to steal people from whoever's not doing nothing, right? Whoever's sitting on their hands and whatever you're doing.
I'm just changing the paper towels. You're on.
Right. You're on. Right. You're on the new Fallout game. That's what that means.
Yeah.
Right. It's been too long, bro. Too long. This whole thing was a PR speech sent to Todd by the Grim Reaper to get things moving because nobody's heard nothing. And after you just axed 6,000 people, you want to hear about a game.
3,200.
The rest will be fired before the end of the year. They said 6,000.
1,600 and then another 1,600. It's 3,200 total. For now.
I think it's more than that. But anyway, when you decap everybody, okay, you got to have a game to talk about. You can't be talking about firings for 3 months. You got to talk about the new game that you just invented that you're going to make for us. That's going to come out in 7 years. Well, what are we talking about, bro? Listen, if you believe they're working on a Fallout game or Elder Scrolls, either one, if you believe that they're working on what other IPs, right? Even if you believe them, okay, if a game comes out in 3, it's rushed into oblivion, right? No pun intended. All right, it's rushed, okay,
into obsidian.
If it doesn't come out in 3 years, then it's going to come out the full term, which is like 5 to 7 years.
Right. The earliest you're seeing Elder Scrolls is
2031, 2032. What are you talking about?
If it comes out earlier than 2031, it's rushed, and you have to wait 2 more years for it to be finished.
Somebody in chat knows. How long ago was the ESO teaser? How long ago was that?
It was 8 years ago. It was 2018.
Right? That game should have been out already.
Yeah, 2018 is when they showed the trailer.
If you showed the trailer, the teaser trailer for ESO 8 years ago, I lost track. I'll be honest, I lost track.
It was just the title.
The game should have been out right now. Right now. In the midst of all the
technically, Sarge, it could have been out and a sequel could have happened already. You could have had Elder Scrolls 7 by this time.
I once again, I'm being honest, I lost track. That's how long ago it was. If you told me 8 years, that's great. If it's been 8 years, that would have meant that if you were working on that game from that point to now, the game would be done. Sure. And right now, right this second, Todd could have went and did another mic drop and said, "Hey, everybody, we know you've been waiting for a long time, and so Elder Scrolls 6 coming out November." Boom! That's what should be happening right now. You would have got ESO 6 and Grand Theft Auto 6. That's what you would have got.
Water Bear in
That's what you
chat
would've got.
puts the 84 years ago. That's the meme from Titanic. I'm 84 years old. Yeah, like that's what's happening right now. It takes so long. So let me read this. Elder Scrolls and Beyond, the foundation extends beyond our teams and technology tools and systems that will power the next generation of Bethesda RPGs. Our team is now developing an Elder Scrolls 6 and Fallout 5 on the Creation Engine 3 and shared technology platform we've also building since the Starfield launch. It allows our teams to support multiple projects simultaneously with new tools, rendering, and systems that define our games. Fallout 5 is currently in pre-production. Napkin. All right. The Elder Scrolls 6's primary development focused today, with the majority of the team currently working on the next chapter of the franchise, with over 65 million copies sold. But nobody cares about that, really. Players are still exploring Skyrim 15 years later, but we all know this is also very long waited for the sequel. The next chapter is on its way, and we're planning to be in loving and how it looks and playing in every day. Now, the road ahead, Sarge, across Bethesda Game Studios, we're building the future to Fallout, Elder Scrolls, Starfield, and investing in our technology and bringing teams closer together, as they said already in the top. We couldn't be more excited. I feel like as he's writing this, Asha's standing over his shoulder, and she's like, don't forget to put working together. Yes, Asha. Right? Like she's there going, all right, now hit send. And he's like, I don't want to hit send. Hit send, Todd. Right? And there it is, a tweet. I always find it funny when they do stuff like this, because it's like, it does feel forced. It does seem like
you were forced.
You were completely quiet the entire time.
They were doing nothing, bro. They were making cosmetics for ESO Online and making some more content for 76. They think those games are going to go on forever.
Yep.
Why do I have to make a new game if I can just keep collecting money from you from our online games? End of story. That's it. Where is the motivation? Where is the motivation for you to make another game? There wasn't one. Obviously.
They could just keep making money from the same game.
Obviously, there was not. You're sitting around. It's been 8 years, bro. Either way, 8 years after that teaser, one of those two games should have been done. Fallout 5 or ESO 6. One of them should have been done. It's been 8 years. What have they been doing for 8 years? It's cosmetics and DLCs for a game. That's all it is.
Starfield.
Nobody cares about Starfield, bro.
No, that's what they were doing. That's what they were working on for the last 8
years.
years.
It was a decent game, but nobody cares. It is not a beloved franchise that they want to install on phones and fridges. Okay, nobody cares about Starfield.
Yeah. Well, I find it funny that Starfield, they finally made fixes in Starfield 2 years after the game came out, and this is exactly why I say for AAA games, no pre-orders, no day one, no full price for a half-ass game. Yeah, there it is. Right. Like that's the reason, because these AAA game companies, it doesn't matter if the game comes out broke, buggy, and unfinished. They're going to take their sweet ass time. You paid the money up front. Everyone's disappointed with it, and then down the road it's better, but you didn't have to release it 2 years ago. You could have released it this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it would have been complete and better, and it would have been more goodwill built up because of this. But that's not how they roll.
It's too long, bro. No matter what they say, it's too long. There's going to be at least 3 or 4 major IPs, if not more, like major ones, that are going to come out before those two games come out. Like major titles.
Well, I would assume before Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, you have the next Starfield update. You're going to have at least 2 more updates for Fallout 76.
No, I'm not talking about updates. I'm talking about new IPs, new game, new something like it's going to supersede.
Oh, you're talking about other people.
Yes.
I'm talking about, yeah.
No, I'm not talking about Bethesda. I'm talking about
Bethesda. Yeah.
It's too long.
Well, since we're still on Microsoft, we'll talk about the things that are distracting, right? Because right now, Xbox is on the goodwill march, right? They're going door to door, holding babies, shaking hands. They're doing all the things, right? They're like, what can we do today to make it look like we're actually listening? Not actually listening, but perceive them actually listening, right? So they said, well, okay, well, what do you got? And they said, well, we got this, right? We got Xbox Game Pass. Wait for it, Sarge, on the Meta Horizon Plus. Okay. Xbox, the Meta, more ways to enjoy Xbox Game Pass. Now you're like, wait a minute. Can I play? I've been playing Game Pass and Xbox on my headset for multiple years now. Right. So you're like, what's the difference? I pay for Game Pass. I link up to my system. I can play cloud gaming, but now it's just for this. So what this means, Sarge, this is for people that do not own okay, an Xbox. They don't own an Xbox, but they own a Meta, right? Remember, I think it was last year, maybe it was maybe a year and a half ago. They were coming out with just the Xbox brand of the Meta. They teamed up with them. They did the workout ones. They did the Xbox ones. It was just like gaming, a little cheaper or whatever it was. So it says, for years, Xbox and Meta have teamed up to make it easier to play games you love across more devices. Today, we're building on that with new benefit connected to the Meta Horizon Plus subscription. Now, these are big things here because you want to play Xbox. Everything's an Xbox. We're not advertising that, though, but you can play Xbox for a small little fee of subscription, giving you another way to discover the play that with Game Pass alongside with the existing access to Xbox and Game Pass on MetaQuest devices. MetaQuest Plus adds Xbox Game Pass starting today. Eligible MetaQuest Plus subscribers now get a starter edition of the Xbox Game Pass where available, offering access to 50 plus games, 10 hours of cloud gaming each month, and reward for playing. The starter edition Game Pass library is packed with the titles ranging from AAA hits to indie favorites, including post-apocalyptic open-world RPG Fallout 4, Fallout 76 from Bethesda Softworks, Ghost Town games, chaotic operative cooking game Overcooked 2, Obsidian Entertainment survival game Grounded, and the Shrunken Kids Explore Oversized Backyard, brutal multiplayer zombie title DayZ from Bohemian Interactive, cooperative first-person shooter game Deep Rock Galactic, where you can also form a band of dwarves, space miners, and truck simulator Snow Runner with a challenge to drive powerful machines across the extreme environments. Meta has all the details on Xbox Game Pass is now included with the Horizon Plus subscription, which you can read here. A MetaQuest Plus subscription available for $60 a year and $8 a month, right? Now, I'll be honest with you, Sarge. We've had this conversation about what Game Pass should cost, okay? And I believe that it shouldn't be higher than $15 to $16, right? That's for the ultimate, in my opinion, right? If Xbox wanted to grow this is perfect. I think $8. I think that's fair for this. If you don't own an Xbox, you don't have to pay for it because they're like, no one's going to buy our $700 Xbox. No one's going to buy our $1,000 next Xbox. So like, they already bought a $500 machine. So why don't we just get that software onto that thing so then they can give us $8 a month, right? So that's what they're doing here.
They want more people to give them the 3 games a year, right? That's what it is,
right? And even you're only paying for less than one game a year for the full year. It's $60.
Yeah, but that's the beginning. It's the entry level.
Sure. Yeah. They're going to raise this like a year or so. It says for eligible MetaQuest subscribers in support region, you can also start exploring the starter edition Xbox Game Pass today and find your next Game Pass to look forward to hearing what you think, right? So this is Goodwill 1, right? She walked out of Bethesda after she told Todd to sit down and write that. She walked to the next door and was like, hey, we're going to put that on Meta. She's like, I'm good. I'm going to the next door now. She goes to the next door and she talks about Xbox backwards compatibility. Okay. On PC, rediscover your selection of iconic original Xbox games now on PC and handheld. So you got these 4 games that are old school games that they're bringing back. It says play more games you love wherever you play with Xbox backwards compatibility on PC.
You mean the standard usage of my systems, basically?
Yeah, that's
what we wanted from before, right?
This is what we could do before, but they took it away.
Right. It's not goodwill to give me back something that you took away from me.
Exactly.
It's not goodwill, right?
This is
now you are looking
Kona
for
Vision.
Anything.
Yeah, this is the Kona Vision from Madden.
That's right. You're looking for anything that puts them in a positive light that they're trying to do better. Because right now, anything looks good compared to what Sony's doing.
Anything.
Like anything.
Yeah.
Anything. Like right now, if they said right now, if this is what I think is going to come down soon, right? Somebody in marketing right now is coming up with a temporary bonus by saying something like, if you go out and buy an Xbox Series X right now, we're going to give you $100 off and a free year of Game Pass Ultimate Edition, but it's only for 30 days or something like that. Like that's something that they would do.
Yeah.
Like anything to show, right? Anything to show that they're better than them, right? Anything. Because right now is the opportunity, right? This is the opportunity. Everything's on fire. And you're looking for any positives, any positive spin.
Yeah. So today they're introducing Xbox backwards compatibility on PC, making it easier to play classic Xbox games from the past across PC and handhelds, including ROG, Xbox Ally, and Xbox Ally X. Remember, everything's an Xbox, but we're not advertising that.
That's correct.
But it's still there. Your library is more than just collection of games. It's your personal. See how they word this?
Very
right, because
Sony's
telling you just deal with it. You told us you like digital. Okay.
This one's holding the little baby.
This one's telling you,
yeah,
this is your collection of games, that your personal history of epic stories, treasured memories from the past. And as players, we don't want to leave our gaming legacy behind, and even technology continues to evolve and advance, and expect our library of games to move forward with us to be able to play them entirely in new ways. All right. Okay, great. Rolling out today, Xbox backwards compatibility on PC launches in early access or early release. Everything's early release, by the way, because that's how they roll. Don't finish the actual thing. Just throw it out there, and we'll see if it works itself out. Okay. Starting with 4 classic, just 4 games though, Sarge. Just 4 games. We've heard that before.
Well, the one on there that's worth paying is Conquer. That's the best one out of the bunch.
So
if anybody in chat's new and you never played Conquer, like that's the one to play. It's the most twisted, one of the most twisted games I've ever played. It's twisted. It's hilarious. Let's put it that way.
It says, in your personal history of epic stories, treasured memories from the past, and as a player, we don't want you to leave your gaming legacy behind, right? So rolling out today, Xbox backwards compatibility on PC launches in early release, early with the 4 classic Xbox games now playable on PC and handhelds for the first time ever. This marks the beginning of a broader effort to preserve Xbox games from the past and bring them to PC over time. We are not just enabling you to play them on PC, we're also adding new features to make your gaming experience better than ever. Players can jump into the following games on PC to support the handheld devices being today supported, which is Blanks Conquered, Crimson Skies, and Fusion Frenzy. Each of these games is now available to purchase on PC and also included in all Xbox Game Pass plans. If you already own a digital license for these games on console, that license now carries over to your PC or handheld.
Weird.
The power of Xbox Play Anywhere and Xbox Cloud Gaming. You can now play games with classic games from the past on Xbox console, cloud, PC, and handheld. Remember, everything's an Xbox.
Weird.
Did your chair just break again? In addition to making these games available, okay, PC, for the first time ever, we've added new features to enhance the experience of PC while preserving the original gameplay. Players can customize the graphic settings, including 4 times resolution upscale, VSync support, full screen, Windows display, modes, filtering, enhanced analyzing. I can't say the word. The games are also included customizational language and audio settings. We plan to add even more features of Xbox backwards compatible games in the future, and I'm excited to share that, like, if I was them, and I know it takes time to do this, but really, 4 games, it should have been 40 games.
For
the start off, and then constantly just keep going. Here you go. Here's your old games.
Yeah, but this is under pressure.
Of course,
all the stuff's going on. Like
minimal, viable.
She walked into the office and says, "How fast can we get games on PC backwards compatible? How fast?" She's yelling at somebody. She's like, "How fast? How fast can you do it?" And they're like, "We could probably do like 4 games in a month." Good. Start next month.
Sold.
Those games better be on PC backwards compatible. Like that's what's being said, right? It's not that they chose 4. That's how fast they could get those ones out.
Some guy said a number. She said good. And then now they're doing it with a 4.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my God, what 4 games? Right? You own Activision. Activision has the Ultimate Alliance games, has the Transformers games, right? Pick up the phone. Hasbro will be happy to pick up the phone and be like,
Hasbro will be happy to make some money.
We get to get more money? Yeah. Right? And they're like, yeah, we're going to put those games on. Like, what are we doing? There's way more games than these 4 games, than these 4 games to give us on this for backwards compatibility. Again, like Marvel's Rivals, okay, more heroes, more games. 40 games minimum should have been backwards compatibility. This is like, I don't know if we're going to do it. Let's just put 4, just 4.
But be positive. Take 10 seconds and be positive. We know it's MVP. We know it is.
Of course it is.
But at the same time, it's in a positive direction. Right? It's a positive direction.
Okay, well, let's talk about why it's in a positive direction.
Because that's the only place they have to go.
Do I know that? But why are they in the position that they're in?
Well, originally, this is a cumulative thing.
No, there's one answer. Customers. They are out of customers, right? Because no customers, no money. No money, they don't know what to do. Customers stop buying the consoles. Customers stop playing Game Pass. Customers are like, we're not interested in Xbox anymore. And they're like, well, shit, how do we get them back? And this is a perfect example of what's happening in the industry right now, because everyone's like, nothing can change. This is just the way it is, Sarge. This is just the way it is,
That's incorrect.
right? Yet, look at these changes that are happening. If they're good or bad, look at what's happening because they don't have customers. They're trying to get customers back. So, like, what can we do? How do we get them back? Let's put it on the MetaQuest. Let's put the 4 games here and beginning ad support game streaming test to learn, which is stream games for free with ads. Okay.
Here we go.
So for a limited time only,
here we go.
Sessions limit applied. So beginning at ad support game streaming test and learn. Today, we're starting to test an ad-supported way to stream select games from your library for a limited time, available to Xbox insiders. During this test period, Xbox insiders with Xbox account will be able to stream games they own for free with ads. Okay? But why, if I own it?
Question to start immediately.
I own it,
I own the game.
Why do I want to, if I own the game, why do I want your version of ads while I play the game when I can just play my game?
That's correct.
I'll continue. Players will also have 1-hour session limits across supported devices and regions. Here's what you can expect. Ads will play before session begins. Okay. So it's like YouTube, right? Before you come into the stream, you watch 2 minutes of ads or whatever. The core game experience is unchanged. Okay. This is optional. Players can choose other ways to play at any time. Okay. But why would I choose this way if I already own the game? I'm confused by that. Chat, please explain this.
If they told me I was playing games that I didn't own, I'd sign up for it.
Sure.
But why would I?
But if I already own it,
let's move on. We'll move on.
For many players, the devices already owned now allows them to stream games with Xbox. Cloud can also help Xbox One owners play newer games built on Xbox Series X and S without needing to purchase new hardware. Okay, that answers the question, I guess, right?
Yep.
That can be especially meaningful in places where consoles are harder to find and less affordable, giving more players another way to access great games on devices they already have. Advertising existed in gaming for decades from an in-game placement. What? I'm sorry?
It has not, but we'll let it go.
In-game placements for free-to-play models, but it always has been built with the player in mind. When done well, advertising can help lower the cost of access. They have to sell it to you, right? We're doing this for you. It's making it cheaper. Right? Yeah, we got the ads. It's just 2 minutes. Doesn't affect you. It creates another way for players to get into the games without upfront streaming purchase and expands the audience through new ways to play. For brands, this only works in showing up their ads to the experience, not takes away from it. Okay. Given that, we want to be clear about how we'll approach the ad support service across Xbox. We start with the player. Ads about create value. We do not interrupt the flow of gameplay. We hold ads to the same quality bar as our content. We're clear about what we're advertising, and we make sure ads fit what players expect on each platform. Okay, we've learned from this test, continue to improve the base and how players use it, and what it tells us. Our goal is to give more people more affordable ways to play. Okay, which if I look at these two piles, okay, one is telling me this is how it's going to be, and this one's telling me play where you want. Which one's better, right? That I have to use this and buy from this and do this, or you can buy it here. You don't have to buy it here. You can play it on the Meta. You can play it on the TV. You can play it on the PC. You can play it on the cloud. You can play it on your old system, right? One is customer friendly. One is anti-consumer, right? But people don't want to see that. They're just like, no, this is how it's going. Now, I'm not saying Xbox good, Sony bad. I'm just saying from a customer standpoint, one is giving you value and the other one is taking value away, right? It says, thanks to Xbox insiders for all the feedback. You can give us to share the links. All right, so we don't have to talk about it, right? So this is like the 1, 2, 3 punch, Sarge. They're going around doing the. So I'm a little confused though. If I own the game, why would I want ads to play in front of my game when I could just put the game in and play it without ads?
I don't understand why the test period would be with people who sign up who have games. So that what that would mean is you're going to play a game and then through the Xbox, they're going to start playing ads before you load up your game. And let's be honest, even back in the day when they tried to do this originally, all people ever did was go to the bathroom and get a drink while the ads were playing, just like you do before you watch a show. You go do what you're going to do and then come down and sit in front of your game system and play the game after the commercials are over anyway. I never understood how this is supposed to affect. The fact that they say that it's not going to interrupt gameplay is a lie, because eventually they have to put the ad to where the person's going to actually see it. Because we're so tuned out on commercials. We know when to walk away
Right.
and come back to the screen.
Burger King.
So you can't tell me that you're going to place an ad that's non-intrusive, that's going to go with the flow of the game, and it's not going to bother me. Like, that's the whole point of an advertisement. The advertisement is supposed to grab your attention. If it's non-existent, non-evasive, then you don't even notice it. Then it's not even a fucking ad. It's like a truck driving through the background. You don't even give a shit about it, right? So what are we talking about?
All right, real quick. I'm gonna read what Ray's saying in here. He says, if I use xCloud 2 to 5 times a month, do I need to pay xCloud? No, I will use the free tier because you don't own the Series S, you're streaming. Okay. So this is a very limited, specific thing then, right? So let's say I own 007, right? I don't own 007, but let's say I own 007. Now I'm out of town. I want to play 007 while I'm away. I log in to the free tier, right? The free tier. I watch a 2-minute ad, and now I can get access to my 007 game from my Xbox or from the streaming service that I can play the game. Is that the way I understand it, Ray? Right? So it's very specific to, you have to own the game, but if you're away from your actual device, you can still stream it on your phone, the Meta Quest, the television set, the PC, your older unit. Is that correct? Jason says Game Pass and cloud. Wow, that's an awesome future for Xbox. Can't wait to rejoin them. You get access to the Blade servers. Okay. So it's very specific. Like if I'm in my house and my Xbox is right here and I can just put the disc in or hit the button because it's on my I'm not going to pick the free tier because it's already in my box. Why would I do that, right? I understand. Okay. Got it. Well, there you go. So there's Xbox.
Well,
why Sony's doing what they're doing.
And we already know that they're talking about this like it's going to be like an oopsie doodle. We're testing it. Meanwhile, EA full force. That's what they're doing.
Oh, 100%.
So I don't understand how Xbox is tippy-toeing around the actual conversation when EA is going to have it front and center. Like, that's what they're doing. You're going to have ads inside EA games. That's pretty much what they're doing.
Let's see. Krebs says, imagine you're raiding or playing an extraction shooter and you forgot your hour is almost up and it just well, it didn't say an ad every hour. It said it only plays before your content. Meaning if I have 10 hours of stream time a month and I sit there for 10 hours, I'm only seeing the ad at the beginning and I play 10 hours and then I'm done. I shouldn't see another ad is what I got from that. I understand what you're saying. That would suck. You're about to go into a raid. You're like, guys, I'm ready. All right, Leroy. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, guys, I got an ad. Hold on a second. Hold.
Right.
That would fucking suck.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, that would suck.
But you'd remember the ad. You know what I mean? Like, you'd remember the ad at that point.
I hate your ad. I hate your brand because I was doing a raid and you got in my way. I hate you, Nike. Never again will I buy anything from you. Yeah. Mostly remote play for Xbox, but it's there for micro outages. Remote play is canceled. Gotcha. All right. The next thing I want to talk about, I talked about this, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday, I think. Or was it today? One of the days. Okay.
It was a day.
It was a day. Xbox paid more than Stalker 2's development costs to make it exclusive.
Makes no sense.
The reason I'm bringing this up, Sarge, is because people said, well, Xbox bad because the games don't make money. Meanwhile, this game was in development for 12 years. I think it was 10 or 12 years. Okay. It's a Ukrainian development team. Okay. What's that?
It's a survival game.
Yeah. And they made this game, and I want to say it's between about $60 to $80 million is what it cost to make this game. Okay, 12 years, $60 to $80 million. Xbox approached them because the article says they approached them once the trailer first showed, and they got a lot of hype from the internet. So they said, "Hey, we're going to give you all your money up front for your more than what your money cost." Okay, so they paid anywhere between $60 to $100 million for this game. It was on Game Pass, and it was also a timed exclusive. Okay. Now, the game did come out broke, buggy, and unfinished when it first did. They did try to fix it as fast as they possibly could. And then, obviously, once the exclusive was done. They took it off of Game Pass and it went everywhere. So they purchased. Now this game did sell 3 million copies when it first came out. Okay. So Xbox gave them the money all up front. Obviously, I'm assuming the deal was they get their money back up front, whatever is, sort of like a publisher deal type of thing. So they're like, hey, we got the exclusive. We pay you money to put it on our system. You made the money. We get our percentage back. But yet this is yet another game, regardless if you think it was popular or not, it made its money back and more. And they pay them up front for this, right? So everyone's always like saying that Game Pass is bad for the game, but yet they paid the studio ahead of time before they even sold one goddamn thing, before it even went on to Game Pass, and this studio made all their money back. Now, this is why I said it's good for third-party developers and stuff like this, not good for first-party developers, because if this was a first-party game, okay, they would never make this money back if it was $100 million, because they're not selling it. It just goes straight to Game Pass, and no one's going to buy it because it is what it is. Now, timed exclusive, then it went everywhere else. It was very smart of this studio to make that deal. I don't know if it was smart on Xbox this time, but just another example that they paid money up front for this third-party development, and they made their money.
But once again, there's an asterisk next to this game. Okay, first of all, special conditions. Okay, I won't even get into details, but special conditions. Okay, developers from Ukraine. We all know the story. What happened? I read the stories from the past. A lot of people in their studios aren't there anymore. Let's put it that way. So maybe they were doing it as I don't want to say as a charity, but as a goodwill gesture, right? So the studio didn't have to worry about recouping losses, and because of the level of popularity that the game had, Microsoft and Xbox were willing to take the risk and give them the money up front and put it on Game Pass and sell it with a time exclusive, thus giving them the most exposure they could possibly give the game, right? So
sure.
I don't know. I don't know.
Once it went to all systems, it was better exposure, but yeah,
sure. But at the time, all that other money from the going on to all other platforms is just cherry on the sundae because they already got their money. Yeah. Because they already got their money.
Right, because after that, it's a roll of the dice. Because if they came out and it just was like it fell flat, they didn't get the money up front, and they just sold the thing on the consoles, they might have not sold the 3 million copies, right?
Yeah, but the argument, and I hate to do
that's just 3 million copies when it came out on Xbox. By the way, I think it sold after that.
No, that's correct. But I hate to do the circle jerk here, but once again, the answer for Game Pass keeps coming back around. The original reason for Game Pass was to have old games. Now, when I say old games, right, anything after I think like 10 months or 12 months is old, okay, as far as gaming is concerned, because there's always games coming out. So you have games that have been out for 6 months plus, maybe even a year, right? You have a set number of games, they're older, and maybe you have the last couple games that may have just released, but they released like a year or 18 months ago, right? Because they want people playing to receive money to offset the average that they keep talking about. They've been repeating the average now for a good 5 to 6 years now, where they say the average gamer buys 2 to 3 games a year, 2 to 3 games a year. And if you have Game Pass for the whole year, that's basically what it is. So now, if you're talking about advertising people who don't buy 2 or 3 games a year and they sign up for your system or for your subscription service and you pay it, they're getting 2 or 3 games out of the people that they would not normally get 2 or 3 games out of, right? Now, for the rest of us who are gamers, right, maybe we get it because we're bored. But normally we're just buying games.
So many games, right?
We're buying games. We buy games. It's not really for us. So what they decided to do, because they realized that they weren't going to encapsulate everybody, that they wanted to put first-party games day and date on the service to get us to pay for Game Pass, right? Because that's the difference. And so when they did that, they shot themselves in the foot, because now you no longer get the actual purchase power of the initial 6 weeks or 8 weeks of the game being out, because you keep telling me it's on Game Pass. So why the hell would I buy it?
Right. We always make fun of that.
And then they're mad that their sales are low.
Yeah.
All
these years we made fun of it. I was like,
you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways.
Right. But every time they showed a game, I was like, well, we'll play it. Why? Because it's on Game Pass. Right. I have no reason to buy it.
No matter what anybody says, remember, Microsoft already has their servers. They already have servers. They made you pay. Listen, they made you pay for their servers every day you had Xbox Live. Okay, let's not forget with our short-mindedness that you guys have that you didn't pay for Xbox Live. Everybody paid for Xbox Live, right? Because you had to, because you couldn't play multiplayer games or play online without it, right? That's what they told us, right? So now Xbox Live, which means you were paying for servers the entire time. So now when you come up with a service like Game Pass and you charge, let's just go back to the old ways, $15 a month, right, for Game Pass, and everyone's saying, oh, but the servers and how much did they pay out for licensing and all of this. They were doing that already. All that money was coming out of the sale of the games anyway. This is an addition. You paid for Game Pass every month, $15 a month, and the money they made from that, which was roughly between $350 and $420 million a month. Okay. Now, if you want to say there's additional costs in there, great. I'll give you $150 million in issues, whatever kind of costs you think there is. They're still clearing $150 to $200 million a month doing nothing.
Yeah, just putting servers. Yeah.
I don't care how many games fail because, like you said in the past, this money's reoccurring every month. We're making $250 million before anyone does anything, right? Before anyone buys a game. So whatever's happening, they're still profitable because they're making money from Game Pass. That was the point. That was the entire point, to offset risks about putting games on that may or may not do well.
Well, here's the thing. Everyone keeps saying that in the broader picture, they're like, well, Game Pass failed. If Game Pass failed, they
wouldn't be there.
Yeah, they would just
it wouldn't be there if it failed.
They're not getting rid of it. They're pushing it again and more. Why? Because they don't have to do anything to recoup that money. It's just the same old titles. Look, Blockbuster used to go pay $4, $5 to rent a game, and you would rent that game and play the game, and you would return that game. And if you liked the game, you go back and rent it again to finish it because you didn't have enough time to finish it, or you decided to go purchase the game because you liked it. That's what Game Pass is. Game Pass is the Blockbuster video of where you go in. Everyone likes to use Netflix, right? But you go in, you play the game, and if you play it and you like it, you're like, oh, I'll complete it here. Or you're like, oh, you know what? It's a good game. Sort of like going to the movies. You see a movie, you're like, I'm going to buy the DVD. Why? Because you like the movie. I'm going to buy the game. Why? Because I like the game. I want to own the game. This is why people like physical stuff. This is why people like to buy the stuff afterwards, because they felt like they were going to own it. Okay. Going to the future now, as far as the games that are on Game Pass, we've talked about, as a customer, I don't care. I'm gonna play Game Pass because it's a great deal for me. Okay, the customer.
You have a kid?
Yeah, it's a great deal for me. Okay, but for them, it sucks to put your $200 million game onto Game Pass because you're not going to recoup that money unless you have 70 million people on Game Pass, which is what they wanted. They wanted this time to have about 70 million people.
But you were never going to get that. The saturation point for the console by itself is 28 million. Okay, what did you think you were going to get? Like, what was the dream here? Right? 30 million consoles? Is it around 30 million?
Like 28 or 30 million.
28 to 30. So what did you think you were going to... Did you actually believe that everybody who has an Xbox was going to pay for Game Pass? Now, let's be honest. If you have an Xbox, though, you have to have some form of Game Pass because it's part of Xbox Live
part
now.
Of the online. Yeah, it's part of online.
Right? So
you would have...
So that would mean that people...
Yeah.
Right. So that would mean that the people who don't have Game Pass are not playing Xbox games online at all. They have to have old games that they're playing. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense because if you own a present-day generation console from Microsoft, you have to be buying Game Pass.
Yeah, because gold is part of Game Pass now.
Yeah. The lowest tier is gold. That's what it is.
Online, yeah.
To access the online, it's what it is.
All right, what's that? Like $10, $11, something like
that. This is why I'm confused. That's the part that confused me for the last 6 months, because the way they talked about it is they said that they couldn't grow it. Well, you can't grow it because nobody else is buying Xbox. You reached your saturation number, right? That's what you've reached.
Yeah.
So the number of
that's
people
why they have to charge more. Yeah.
Right. The number of people that own an Xbox, I'm thinking that the amount of money that they're making also includes the people in the lower tiers, and they might not be counting that as an actual number, because otherwise that doesn't make sense. Because in my head, if you have an Xbox and you're playing online at all, that means you have to have the minimum level of Game Pass, because that's how you play online. And so if that's the number, then the number should be much higher. So that would mean that there are people who are playing Xbox not online.
Right.
That's the only way that's the only way that works. And it hurts my head to think about it. I'm thinking, how does that work? How do we have 28 million people playing, and that means there's got to be at least 8 or 9 million people that don't play online at all. They're just playing video games that they have on their Xbox. Like it's like the Wi-Fi cable next to the TV type of thing. It's like the same.
Right.
It's like the same issue I'm having. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, going from Xbox to stuff, the big news that's been happening since the last 2 weeks, Sarge, that's happened. We caught the tail end of it on the last show, which is digital to physical. Right now, since this time, we've had the people that are mouthpieces that say, "Well, just give up. It's too late." Right. One of them is Ubisoft. Ubisoft chief says Sony's decision to kill games discs isn't going to be a big deal. Yeah,
not for him.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I love the fact that everyone's like, well, there's only 5% or 10% of people buying physical. And my thing is, okay, but then why are you throwing them out? Like, it's mind-boggling to me, because the movie industry, the music industry, the book industry, which are all median, right, for the media stuff, all have an option for physical and digital, right? Regardless if you collect physical or not, there's still a choice for physical. You can buy a physical book. You can buy a digital book. You can buy a CD. You can stream it on Spotify. You can buy it digitally, okay, off Apple Music.
But for some reason,
video games cannot be the same, right? People that are digital users think that the people that are physicals hate digital, and that's not what it is. If you want to buy digital, but we still want the choice of buying physical. And they're like, no, you don't get to buy physical. And we heard something out of David Joffe's mouth today when we were watching the video, and he said about all the stuff.
I almost had an aneurysm when I heard
he said it's not about greed. And then right after that, about a sentence and a half later, he said they're only as greedy as we
allow them to
be. And I was like, what? So him saying that, I was like, yeah, the people speaking up are not allowing them to be that greedy. But yet he's like, well, that's just the way it is. Don't fight it, right? And Ubisoft says it's not a big deal, right? So Gilmont says reckons that the lack of physical disc might even be a good thing. Yeah, for you.
You're going to bring in Greenpeace on this one? We're going to save the world of plastics now? Because I hear that kids got those boats on the rivers now collecting plastic all the time. It's doing a great job. I think we can start pumping out discs again.
Yeah. Gilmont was asked during today's quarterly investors call, and Sony's decision might create a demand headwind because of the loss of secondary market of the PlayStation games. What we saw on the PC that we helped to grow the market, Gilmont said, presumably a reference to the explosive growth of Steam that drove a stake through the heart of physical PC game releases. You can still buy physical releases. I don't know if you know this, Sarge. Sarge, can you show me a physical copy of a thing?
Oh, no, yeah, but the game the game is on the disc.
That's correct. The game is on the disc.
It's not a code.
Yeah,
the game is on the disc.
That's right. Game is on the disc, and it's also a code if you want to use it. So if you had a disc tray, you could use the discs, and you can use the code. I know it's crazy to think. Choices, right? He says there's also some pressure for the future of the cost of machines, and being able to be only digital will help save more accessible machines. I would say there's a plus or minus, but we think it will not be disturb the industry too much. Now, this is how we have to show them that back in COVID, we were all stuck inside, and they thought this number was going to go like this nonstop. They thought these suckers are stuck in their house forever. We've got them, right? That's what it got, right? Now it's not like that, and they think they're Rome. All of these companies think they're Rome, that they can't fail. And we have to do a wake-up call for them, because even Jaffe said it. We only let them to be greedy as we allow them to be. And that's what we're doing. The people are being vocal saying, we want physical. Don't take physical away from us. And they're like, sorry, it's just the way it is. All the numbers. And everyone quotes Circana. Okay. But Circana has clients, and his clients are the same people telling you that they don't want to make physical anymore. So it would behoove him to give stats to lean towards that direction to make you, most of you, consumers, while the customers are still fighting to keep their physical stuff, right? He says the impact of Steam and the revolution of PC gaming is obvious, indictable, and says, while we might argue that it's entirely a good thing, I certainly would. PC gamers are absolutely eating well these days, at least as long as you don't need to upgrade your rig. Sure, we can take our old stuff down from GameStop and trade them into the new releases, but we also do get ridiculous deep discounts on Steam, Humble, Epic, and numerous others. Here's the thing that they're not comparing. Steam is digital, but you can still buy stuff from other people. Sony, you can only buy from the Sony store. You can only buy from the Sony store. And where's the other one? I think this is it. Yeah. And then Sony decided that they were going to make their own stablecoin, which gets activated in 2027, which is 1 year right before everything goes fully digital. Okay. If you don't know what the stablecoin is, Sarge, it's their own currency. Think about it like V-Bucks for Fortnite, basically. You have to convert your cash into the stablecoin, and you'll use the stablecoin to purchase stuff from PlayStation's store when they do this. Okay. Now, if people think this is the exact same thing as being on Steam because they're digital, you're fighting the wrong thing here, right? Because it's not about digital. Okay. It's about ownership, and it's about choice. And they're taking the choice completely away from you. And yet everyone just keeps saying, it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, but the gameplay here, it sounds like some kind of new corporate jabroni who got put in charge, who has 6 years to make a move before he has to sell off his stock and go on to something else. That's what it feels like. It feels like whoever's in charge now in Sony, I'm not saying that the very tippy top, but the guys in charge are the fast talkers, the salesmen from back in like the 90s who could sell anything to anybody. And I think that they pushed it upon the upper management of Sony that they could get away with this type of money over this period of time. And this is their plan. Their plan is this entire encapsulation of their market share, right? That's what it is, because they are the leaders of the market, right? So they believe that if they wall off the city, you're only allowed to use our money. You can't have any discs of your own. You have to buy everything from us. So like everything points to it's a closed system, and they figure that they're going to capitalize on it. And then he's going to collect this big bonus check and then walk off into the sunset. That's what this feels like, because the direction change is too severe in the Sony world for this to make any sense at all to do this. I could understand you want to make a good quarter and you make some moves. I could understand you want to fire some people, get some new companies involved, make some trades and collect some more money. Understandable. But this type of tactic screams corpo from the top down, right? They're gambling on an enclosed system that they think that they're what's it called? The when they fall, when a number of people fall off of the market, but I can't remember the proper name for it. But
you're talking. I don't know the name, but you're talking about
how much they're going to bleed.
Yeah, like how many off?
Like how many? They're going to
cover. They're going to cover.
Right. How much percent of what percent of their market it will bleed out because of the transition, and what will remain will still hit their numbers.
Sort of like what Xbox did when they raised the price of Game Pass to 30. 4 million people dropped off. They dropped it back down to 23.
Yeah, and it's an attrition rate. It's another word for it, but it's basically an attrition rate of how many people they're going to lose. So at that point, you say to yourself, okay, wait a minute. I think what I'm going to do now after the show's over is I'm going to look up who are the top guys in Sony now. Now, remember, they moved the offices to America. So this is a jabroni from America. This is not like a Japanese guy.
Right.
Like, these ideas are not Japanese. You know that, right? Like, what's going on right now in Sony, these are not Japanese ideas.
Well, I would think it's investors. I would think it's investors.
It's part investors, but this is from a guy over here, right? For sure, right? So I want to see the top guys who's in charge and what's going on. I want to see if I can find out the names. I guarantee you, I find somebody that's probably either been there for like 2 years plus, and these are his ideas that he's trying to institute, or there's some kind of contract negotiation that so and so has X number of years to show this number of increase for shareholder value. Otherwise, he gets canned. Like, it's gonna be one of those things. Something's gonna show up because it's too nuts. It's too nuts to do this. Right. And this is over 3 years. So like, this is going to take years to implement. This is not like one of those things where like, we're going to turn on a dime. Like, we're doing this. It's going to take 3 years, 4 years, and then watch.
Well, and then the people that are, maybe you're still on the fence, you're like, well, I still got my physical. Well, they're coming after you too, because they want to make sure you know that your stuff, okay, your physical PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 game collection might not last as long as you think, Sarge. Okay. A new study, they just happened to do a new study, reveals that PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 discs may only last 10 to 20 years. So you might as well just put them in the garbage disposal right now, Sarge. Those discs are not going to be as good. Digital's the way to go. We should 100% go digital, right? This is
the disc rot's a lie, bro. Complete and total lie.
I mean, it happens. I've had it happen to disc, but it's where you store it and stuff. They're making it sound like all games that you've bought. Look, it's going to happen to you. It's going to in mass droves, like you're in a flood or something. Okay. It says studies find that PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 read-only Blu-ray discs start degrading, and manufacturer typically remains playable for about 10 to 20 years under real-world conditions. This storage layers make them vulnerable to scratches, humidity, and heat. So proper vertical, cool, dry storages is evidence that Sony ends disc production by January 2028. On the heels of Sony announcing this will be also ending production of physical PlayStation discs, researchers have looked into how long the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 4 game discs will last, giving PlayStation gamers have an idea of how long they will have access to their games before they vanish. So this is like a scare tactic, right?
Absolutely.
They 100% tell you that, no, we're going digital, and look, by 2028, you're not even going to have physical anymore. And by the way, your physical discs are going to die 10 to 20 years from now anyway, so you might as well just get rid of them and rebuy them again, right? Like that's what they're telling
that's
you.
That's how they're talking.
Yeah,
that's exactly how they're talking.
And on top of this, Sarge, we have this story, which is new data suggests players are inclined more towards the premium game edition. Okay. And you think that can't be right. And then EA shows up and says, EA Sports FC 27 just revealed an even more expensive Ultimate Plus edition for $150. What I find funny about this is that games were $60, $70, and they would do the $90, $100, premium deluxe type of stuff like that. Right now, GTA is $100. So they're like, yeah, let's go to the 150. Now, I know there's games in the past like 2K, WWE 2K and stuff like that had bigger pot. But this is what EA is doing now, right? So why make the game better to sell more copies when you could just fleece diehard fans instead? So the price tag is $50 more than the Grand Theft Auto Ultimate Edition and $20 more than the
because they gave them the green light. Because Grand Theft Auto gave them the green light. That's why.
Right. Borderlands 4 Super Deluxe Edition. This is, in fact, exactly the same price as EA Sports MVP bundle for college football. The difference is that the bundle includes the entire second game, Madden NFL, while the EA Sports FC Ultimate Plus Edition does not. What does the new version include? Well, the offer is so complex that there's an entire chart that aims to break it down. So you have to have a chart to know what you're getting. Let's see what the chart is here. The Ultimate Edition, you get pre-order by August 31st. You get 85 plus overall icon international player. Okay. But if you get the Ultimate Edition Plus, only available until August 31st, okay, is 85 plus purple international player items. If you get the pre-order before September 24th, you get the premium pass for season 1. But if you get this Ultimate Edition, you get seasons 1 through 5 premium edition. If you get up to 7 days early access, you also get 7 days early access.
So convoluted, bro.
Right? You also get the Hall of FUT, which is one of the 5 player picks. You also get, if you get the Broke Edition, Sarge, you get 6,000 FC points. But if you get the Ultimate Edition, the badass, gloat that you have money, you get 10,000 FC points, right? 4,000 more points. Okay. Don't forget, if you buy a PlayStation by 2027, you're going to have to convert your money to the PlayStation stable coin. So you can give that to EA to then get your 10,000 FC points, so you can get a spreadsheet, get a chart, everything will be okay. You get player EVO, okay? You get an additional slot. You also get an additional slot over here. You get 2 double XP, 10 matches consumable. Over here, you get 2 double AXP, AXP, same as that, 10 matches. I don't know if it's the purple or they're just dividing it. Everything looks the same except for the Premium Pass for Season 1 through 5, Hall of FUT, 10,000 FC points, and the player Evo for EA Sports FC 26, right? They have to make it so complicated and convoluted for all this stuff. Right?
So convoluted, bro. I haven't bought an EA game, and that includes Battlefield. I won't do it. EA is, bro. There's a reason why most hated company multiple years in a row. There's a reason, right? The amount of MTX Battle Pass mixes in their games for something that you buy every year makes 0 sense to me. Why you would spend that much money every year for the same game, and all that's different is the rosters. It makes no sense.
There you go, Chopper Eric. Yeah, Sony approved to launch Sony stablecoin by 2027. So there you go. You got to stay up to date. News moves fast here. So yeah, they have a stable coin. What else we got here, Sarge? We got oh, this is insane. Okay, this is insane. This is Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto 6, Sarge. Grand Theft Auto 6 expected to help generate more than $1 billion in operating cash flow. Now,
they already had operating $1 billion cash flow.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. This is it. The official reveal of 26 revenue expectations. This is it. Sorry. During the early days of the game's pre-orders, it was also estimated that GTA 6 generated $1 billion in just 1 hour. Okay, though the figures were also largely based on Take-Two's stock market performance and not actual pre-orders, right? So people just run with this. Some experts now believe that the upcoming AAA could generate between $3.5 billion and $5 billion in the first week after its global launch. Just to put that in perspective, if everyone pre-ordered this game and they got the $80 to $100, just roundabout, you're making 50 million copies sold. 50 million copies sold before week 1. That's crazy. Pre-order, day 1, week 1, month 1, year 1, done.
If you think that any server is going to be working the week that GTA comes out, I guarantee you they're going to have to do third market. They're going to have to buy some server farms for that week, because I can guarantee you.
Well, they haven't. They haven't announced online yet. This is just the single player. There's no servers right now.
Listen to me very carefully. I'm not talking about online yet. I'm talking about just for you to download the game and for you to play it, because you have to be online to play it. Not that you're playing online. You have to be online to play it.
Download it. Right.
What I'm saying is the number of people that are going to try to play all at the same time, right? They're going to have to borrow some server farms in order for it to work. I'm going to let you know it ain't going to work for everybody day one, right? People are staggered throughout the day. You know, I go to work, you do this, right? Remember, all these stories lead into one story, right? Everybody calls out sick. We don't go to work on GTA day. We don't go to work. Once we figure out the date, we call out sick. We use our vacation days or what everybody else is doing for this fucking game. It's madness, right? It's just for this game, right? Well, there's a couple other games.
There's a couple other games. Yeah, there's a couple other games.
This is like, there's a sickness, right? So if you believe that the day that this comes out, that you're going to all be able to play it fine and dandy on the first day, you got nothing coming, bro. I can't even, not even to mention what happens when the online starts.
Yeah, when the online starts, I'm telling you.
Do you remember how long it took for us to play the original on GTA 5?
It took 2
weeks. Yeah. It took 2 weeks to even load it back on.
Just to get into the game. Yeah.
Just to get in.
But it took them 18 months to actually fix the game because the heists were broke and shit like that.
Yeah.
Right. So the problem, right, with the online, once they announce the online gets announced, I'm telling you, Sarge, the game industry doesn't know what's going to hit them, and they're going to get a frying pan to the face. Okay, they're going to be awakening and going, "What the hell just happened?" There's games that are being developed right now that are going to launch, and their online games, right? This is why, and this is my speculation. A lot of games change their complete format of being online to turning into a single player game, right? Co-op, whatever. It's not an online game anymore. It's not a multiplayer game anymore. It's just a single player game. There's 10, 15 games that we can say. When Grand Theft Auto Online comes out, the entire wave of people playing that online, YouTubers starting new channels, the content that's going to happen, the concurrent player base that's just going to sit on the online to do whatever, okay, is going to be ridiculous, right? There'll be games coming out and go, wow, how come no one's playing our game? How come no one bought our game? How come no one's going back to season 16? How come someone's not going back to season 5? How come someone's not buying our skins? Because they're all playing Grand Theft Auto, or they're watching someone play Grand Theft Auto, right? They have no idea what's going to happen. This tidal tsunami is coming over the thing, and it's not the game. It's the online that nobody even knows about yet. And as the clip says, right, the fucking game doesn't even have gameplay. No one knows what FPS runs, and people bought it.
Yeah.
Potentially 50 million.
Sight unseen.
Yeah.
$100 game, sight unseen. Well, because it's Rockstar, right?
And they've earned it.
The power...
Right?
The power of name recognition, even though half the studio is not there anymore, boggles my mind that you're on name recognition alone, right? I stopped that shit a while ago. Once I started realizing that the name does no longer mean anything, it's the people in the company that drive the game. And if those people aren't there anymore, I have to see whether or not you guys still have the goods. Just because you spent $1 billion making a video game and 10 years and spent 9 years sucking money from people's wallets and shark cards, right? No
Right.
DLCs, no nothing, right? I watched so many Lex Freeman with Hauser about the DLCs that they had planned that they never released.
I watched it a while ago.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? That they never released. And I'm like, what? It just goes to show you once again, if they don't have to release something because you keep giving them money, then they don't have to release anything. The whole flow chart of a game is we all see if the game's good or not. We watch a reviewer, we buy the game, and then lo and behold, you finish the game or you get bored of it, one or the other. But either way, it's like 25 to 50 hours and you're done. And you're done and you go play something else. They want you in game forever. Now, I understand the lore of this, why they want this. Roblox is doing fantastic. Minecraft's doing fantastic. But the problem now is the more games that you create forever people on, the less people there are to sustain the rest of the fucking industry. The 25 to 40 hours needed to play another game, you lose because those people are no longer
They're invested in that
leaving
one
the
game.
game.
Yeah.
They're always inside that game. Now, once again, looks great for them. Great for that game. But where does the rest of the industry go? Now, you end up exactly where we are. Overpaying for games. Games are too expensive. Can't recoup the losses. Closing down studios. But that's all good, right? Because Roblox is doing well. Right, that's how we should look at it, right?
Roblox.
We lose 50 studios a year because Roblox and Minecraft and Fortnite are doing really well. So we're cool, right? Everyone is good with that.
Online. Yeah, and
everyone's good with that, right? Right, Ray. But we're gonna blame Game Pass, right? So your greed caused your own downfall. So I no longer have any sympathy or apathy. I would rather it burn to the ground. The corpos realize the money train is over. They're going to actually need quality people in quality positions to make revenue again because the products are crap and we start over. That's the end game, right? And the only way that stops is to stop handing over monthly money.
Yeah.
It's the only way it stops.
I think if people just if your library is going to disappear, I said this last night when we were playing a game. If your library is going to disappear, and you know it's going to disappear because they've already shown you that they're going to take your library away from you, just go make a new library somewhere else, wherever that is. If it's a handheld device or whatever, right? Go buy older games, retro games, right? Rent, right? There's no reason to get any Ubisoft game. Just rent Ubisoft for 1 month, $18, right? There's no reason to buy a Madden game, right? Just wait a couple of months and then get EA Play, right? Like, you don't need to buy any games anymore. You just need to rent the game, play it how you want, and then move along. because it's not just Game Pass, right? All of these places have their pay. It's the brand new games that are 300, 400 million that they can't afford it because they have to sell, 10 million copies. Well, good luck to you, right? Good luck to you because it's going to go on sale. I saw Borderlands 4 is 50% off now, Sarge. I remember Brandy Pitchford said it's going to be a really long time before you get a major discount. Yeah, really long.
Really long.
8 months. Really, really long. It could be years. 8 months. Right. Going on to the next systems. Okay. Game industry veterans say console makers have to innovate to survive. We could be afraid of the $1,000 console. What are they going to innovate? How do you innovate a console, Sarge?
The only way that they know how right now is graphic wise.
No, I know, but what does it turn? What does it turn into?
FPS.
Yeah, but what does a console turn into?
Well, it's a PC. At that point, it's a PC.
Right.
It's
so
a PC.
So they have to innovate to make it a PC to compete with PC. And people are like, well, if you're going to pay $1,000, might as well get the cheaper $1,000. No, that's not.
Okay, but look.
I can do a lot more on my PC than I can do on an Xbox or a PC or PlayStation.
But that's what I'm saying. See, the way I'm starting to look at this now, after all the the destructive movements that Russia is doing, right, is the fact that if they're actually trying to sell a console in the worst possible time to sell a console, and that's what this is, right? If they're really going to do it and they're going to push Helix, then I don't think the marketing is going to attack this from a console standpoint. I believe Microsoft will advertise the Helix as a gaming PC, not as a console. That's the only way you can get people to spend that much money on a so-called console.
Right.
Because there's no way you want to spend over $1,000 for a closed system that I can't do anything else with,
right,
but play games, when I have the option of making a custom-made computer, an $1,800 to $2,500 computer. Now, I'm not saying that's the top end. I'm just saying in that price bracket, I just call any one of the guys who build PCs and I pay $100 a month or $150 a month, and I get the machine that I want, and it does everything I want.
Right.
Why would I buy a console? It doesn't make sense, right? And on top of that, the price structure conversation is now over. I know no one wants to believe me, and I know you're going to have some words against this, and that's fine, right? But the conversation for pricing is over. Micron signed contracts with 16 different businesses, the big boys, for contract negotiations to lock down the price of their chips, which means that let's say the chips are $500 a piece.
2032. They're not going down in
$800
price.
a piece.
Yeah.
Right. $800 a piece. Let's say they were $800 a piece. The contract says we're going to pay $750 for the chips, period. Right. And so that means for the next 5 years, chips that are going to be used for consumer products are $750 for these 16 companies, period. So now if the price of all these things, as they keep talking about, keep going up for the sake of going up, it's not because the chip prices went up. It's because the businesses are trying to screw you out of more money because the chip prices have already been set.
For at least 5 years.
Yeah. Right? Well, for 5 years. That's correct. Yeah. So I don't want to hear anymore about chip prices or how much things are, because right now, anything from those 16 companies are locked in. So whatever other money you're trying to invent that something's more expensive now is a consumer lie. That's what it is.
Well, most of it, yeah. So most of it is. Layden here says everyone should be afraid of the $1,000 console. Layden said that the whole lot of money, and particularly when a new console launches, you're not going to have a lot of games for it. You also have anywhere from maybe
don't have games for it
to 12 that have been out here at the launch window. And if you put 4-digit price tag on the hardware against that, I think you're really slow at a curve, right? No one's going to buy these systems. The only people who are going to buy it are the guys that want to keep up with the Joneses. The guys, no matter what system comes out, what electronic comes out, they'll buy it.
That's not going to sustain the hardware.
Exactly. 4 million, whatever it is, right? I mean, hell, the Steam machine right now roughly, I heard a number that they probably sold around 75,000 to 80,000 units of the Steam machine. That's it, right? They might sell 2 million units by the end of 2 years, whatever. And you're thinking that's not a lot, but it is for them. But it's just a niche. The people that wanted that got that thing. Everybody else is like, I don't need it, right? But there's always people that want the greatest tech, right?
Yeah,
Layden and Moore said gave me very, very different answers on what they thought the big hardware manufacturers like Sony and Xbox need to do to keep gamers aboard the increasingly expensive gaming consoles. But both their answers held a common theme: innovation. He said the buzzword, something they both said must change drastically. The gaming audience will find some other way to play games, one that doesn't involve a box under the TV, right? And you can see the shift, what's happening with Xbox, right? Headset, phone, PC, television, whatever.
Right. You don't need to buy the box, but the Helix will be there for the people for keeping up with the Joneses.
Correct. Vinyls are still there because people want to still buy vinyl records, and that's what they want. There's options for people to buy stuff, right? Layden believes the change needs to come at the software level. He chatted about the history of PlayStation hardware and the innovations, the price increase over the years. For a long time, Layden said there's somewhat mythical $399 price point for hardware. You can't sell a game machine unless it's $399, he said, remembering that the mess Sony ended up in dealing with the announced $600 PS3. The $399 console worked for a long time because it was affordable enough for buyers. The improvements between the console generations were significant enough to justify the cost. But even as the consoles get more expensive, the leap from generation to generation is getting smaller and smaller. He says, I mean, how much more ray tracing can you put in there? That's
correct.
This is the eyes actually see. He says, and will the eyes actually see the 120 frames per second? So, hypothetical. Layden hasn't been in Sony since 2019. PS6 is going to largely indistinguishable from PlayStation 5, and what we're left to sell buyers a widely expensive new box. For him, he says, I got to be in software, and the current direction of the game design isn't cutting it. He says, I think that we've already kind of limited to our reach just because the games we're building now. I mean, the variety of the range seems to be narrowing. Most games are falling into the standard set of buckets, the zombie apocalypse game, or it's the space marine game, or the guys that really long swords, or not much armor and the dragons. He says, so these categories are coming around that, of course, Grand Theft Auto is going to be like an asteroid piercing through the atmosphere and hitting the gaming universe at great force and power. He says, but there's also a lot of people in the world who really don't care about Grand Theft Auto. And the non-gaming community will talk about how big we are at $220 billion or $250 billion industry. But the social impact is the reverse. Everybody has a favorite song. That probably is least revenue generating entertainment category is music compared to gaming and film and television, but yet it has the widest impact. And so gaming is this huge on the revenue side of things, but it's also a very select group of what we're doing, which is that closed system, right? And which I've always talked about. Everyone's like, oh, consoles is growing. I'm like, no, it's not. It's been stagnant for fucking decades because it doesn't go past that number. 120, now it's 150, buying the PlayStation 2 after all these years. But that console, and there's overlap. Like, I used to own all the consoles. I owned a Nintendo, I owned the Xbox, I owned the PlayStation. So I count as one sale for each of those things over the total thing of 250 million people are buying consoles type of stuff, right? So this is what he's saying. Now, there has to be a reason for people to buy an Xbox, making sense for the Microsoft's messy return for console exclusives. And it's another thing. Now they're talking about the Helix, right? The Helix might be coming out 2027, 2028, whatever it is. Why do I need a new Xbox, Sarge? Why do you need a new PlayStation, right? You don't need these things. Forget about even just innovating. Even if they innovate them and do what Layden said, where their frames per second are higher and all the ray tracing is higher. Why would I choose, like you just said, a closed ecosystem in Sony? Why would I choose an Xbox when an Xbox is just turning into a PC and it's played everywhere? Why wouldn't I just buy a PC? Why are these companies pushing new consoles so hard when the prices, they keep telling you, oh, it's out of control. We can't afford these things. They're just way too expensive. And yet they keep telling you, we're coming out with a new system. We're coming out with a new system. You're not going to see, like Layden said, you're not going to see new games for 3 years into that cycle. And that number's not coming down. You're not going to get a $1,200 console and then go down to like $800. That's not going to happen, right? If anything, it drops down to $999. That's it. 5 years, 6 years in the cycle, if that, because by then it could go up in price now because this is how it is.
But that's their game. The threatening of you to raise prices every 6 months, trying to force you to buy a box you don't really need. right? It's only going to go up. So my question to you is, well, since you know new consoles coming out anyway, and you know the prices of everything else are going to go up, and so the cost of value proposition is all skewed, because why am I paying more for something that's old when the new one's coming around the corner? Why would I buy it?
Right.
Why would I buy a PS5 or an Xbox Series X now if every 6 months the price is going to go up, when the new ones is a year and a half or 2 years down the road? I'll just start saving money now to get that if that's what I want. But you pay double for something that's been out for 6 years is mental.
Well, and then right now, let's say you don't own an Xbox, you don't own a PC, right? You're like, oh, well, the exclusives are coming back to the Xbox, but they're always going to be on PC, day and date, on PC, on Xbox. So even if they bring exclusives back to Xbox, they're still going to be on PC. They're not taking them away from PC. They're not doing a Sony thing, right? So if I was investing into a system right now, yes, the Xbox would be cheaper to buy, but in the long run, I might as well just get a PC now. It makes no sense to get these systems.
Now, the more that I think about it, I 100% am convinced that when the marketing starts, Xbox will market the new Xbox as the Helix. We don't know. That's the test name. We don't know what the name's going to be. Yeah. But they're gonna market the Helix as a gaming PC. That's the only way that's going to work. That is the only way that's going to work. 100%.
If it's going to be a gaming PC, then it basically has to be priced as a Steam machine, but it has to be more powerful than the Steam machine, but it has to be under a regular PC price. Otherwise, there's no reason to buy it.
But this is what I'm telling you. They want the Joneses to buy it. The guys who are going to buy it, they're going to buy it. We got people in chat right now who are already ready to buy a Helix. They have no idea what it is, right? that's just how it goes. But what I'm telling you is, when that console comes out, and it comes out as like, I don't know, $1,400, and you go, oh my God, that's crazy for a console. And they go, oh no, not a console, my friends. This is a gaming PC.
Right.
That's how they're going to market it. It's the only way that's going to work. It's the only way it's going to work.
Well, going from that to Valve. Valve says there's no end in sight to the memory crisis, and prices are only going to increase. Honestly, it's still getting worse. Okay, retail availability is lacking bulk supply by at least 3 to 6 months, according to Valve engineer. As the AI boom gobbles up graphic cards, the SSD memory sticks, and more, building a game's PC has become an eye-watering expense. Okay, earlier this month, researchers showed that the memory prices are predicted to rise sharply between now and 2027, with no reductions expected until 2028, which is bullshit, really, because we know they signed the deals.
Contracts are signed. Why would it keep going up?
So now Valve has shared its own view of the hardware market, and it's also equal glum. Okay, speaking of Bloomberg, Jason Schreier about the company's long road to Steam Machine, Valve engineers said, honestly, it's still getting worse. Okay, he explained, just in case people are not aware, what people are seeing on retail shelves right now from the observation is lagging in what we're seeing from the bulk supply by at least 3 to 6 months. Okay, Valve has also provided some insight into how memory crises affect the Steam Machine's launch. Unsurprisingly, initial supply of the Steam Machine was impacted by memory availability, and we're basically building everything we can. Fellow engineers, we're also limited to the memory capacity for sure. Valve didn't go into detail about how many Steam Machines have been produced or sold up to this point. Of course not. They never show those.
Nobody knows. Well, I'm in business, Mike, but I have no idea how much we sold of anything. But we're still in business.
It's a secret because they want you to be excited for it, because if they tell you it's a low number, you're going to be like, well, it didn't sell well, so no one buys it. And if they tell you it sold well, then they'll be like, I can't believe those people bought the thing. You know what I mean? Like it's like a lose-lose. They just like, we'll just stay quiet, right? We'll just stay quiet. So
yeah, only in 2026 do I want to not tell you how much I sold to help the business. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And then we have the next story, Sarge, of Bungie's Marathon loses game director Joe Ziegler in major leadership change. What I find out what's weird about this one, Sarge, he came in like 2 years ago, right? He replaced David Barrett, who was in charge of Marathon, but then got fired, then got into court. He just won that case, so he won a lot of money, and now he's starting to
good for him
make his own game, I think, or own studio or whatever.
Good.
But Joe Ziegler took over for Marathon, and obviously Marathon's doing gangbusters, right?
That's doing fantastic, according to everybody that works for
PvE. PvE kicked in yesterday or today, and it shot up a little bit, right? But
it went back. It went back to 5 digits.
Yeah, it went to 15,000. At least last time I checked, right? What he says here, though, in his little where he says here, I think it was in this third paragraph, right? He says, I want to say a deeply heartfelt thank you for all the supporting me in the Marathon Widely missions and bring the dark, terrifying space survival frontier to the screen. The mission will continue in new, surprising ways, and stay tuned for this team in store. Okay, whatever. That's for that. He says, hopefully, as I move on to new things, you'll join me for those adventures as well. As much love to the Marathon. Now, the way he wrote that, it sounds like he's not being fired from Marathon. It's like he's leaving Marathon and going somewhere else in Sony. Doesn't it sound like that? Because if you were leaving the company, you wouldn't say like, hey, join me for those new adventures.
How are you going to join? How am I going to join you on those adventures if you don't work for the same company? Right. So that means you're working for the same company.
Right. That's what I'm getting at.
So that would mean that he just didn't fit the part of what was needed for what needs to be done for the project.
I think Sony obviously he's on a sinking ship with Marathon. And they probably liked what he did when they gave him the job from David Barrett, right? And they're like, we like what you did here. We got you in mind for something else. We're taking you off of Marathon because Marathon,
like a director, like they're moving him around to a different movie.
Yes, and I think they're going to move him over to something else within the Sony franchise itself, right? The Sony brand itself. That's the way I'm taking it. Do you think he's leaving the company and going completely separate from this terminology? I know you just said what you said, but like, I'm reading it the way I'm reading it while you're reading it, and the way it's corporate speak, regardless. But it's not a goodbye, right? It's not a goodbye. It's statement. A goodbye to the Marathon community, but not a goodbye. Right, but it's not goodbye until he's like leaving the company. Yes. That's the way I'm reading it. Now, I do find it weird that they closed down or they stopped using Destiny. They closed shop on Destiny, basically, or stopped supporting it. They put all the effort into Marathon, but yet the director is getting cut, which I find that very strange, which means Sony's like, okay, this is what we're doing. And this is the way my brain works, right? So he's moving someone else into that position. They know what they're doing. They're on cruise control now because Marathon needs to last, like I said in the beginning, it needs to last about a year or so. It might even last 2. I don't know. Right. But it's going to last a little bit. And then they put the boat on cruise control and they said, Ziegler, come with us. All right. This is it. This is what it's going to be. We got some ideas for this, but we want to move you over to something else. And I think that's what's happening. I think that they know Marathon's just there. It needs to stay afloat long enough for the other live service games to come out, which is Fair Games, which is going to fail. And then also the Hunter of the Gathering type of stuff that comes out. And then maybe the Horizon MMO and stuff down the road. I really truly believe that this is just supposed to hang here because that's the cards they have.
Well, let's put it this way. In Sony's mind, Bungie was still a gamble and Marathon was a gamble. But who's the cheaper gamble? Right? Who Marathon, do we spend less right? Who do we spend less money on for the same type of gamble? And so to them, they pick Marathon. That's as easy as it's going to get. It's not this whole thing about the passion about it. Everyone fights for Bungie because of the passion behind the game and your emotions behind it. But when you get down to the math of it, the amount of money spent on it didn't return. So, which is another conversation I want to have because the mergers and acquisition department of Sony needs to be fired. If they believed that these products were going to do well, then there's something wrong with their research. There's something wrong with their information, right? Because Bungie's life is online. Every story, everything that happened to them, all the money they lost, all the jams they got out of, everything was public. It all came out, by the way. It came out multiple times what was going on with that company. So if they believed that 3.6 billion was a deal, right? And that's why they did it, because they thought it was a deal because they were worth more than that. But the amount of money they found out that they burned through in order to get that money, which was already on the books. This is why I will fight this to the death. One gamble to another. That's it. It's one gamble to another. Get rid of the guys that we're spending too much money on. We're going to gamble on this one. We'll pull money out of it as best we can. But I still think you could have did bare minimum project on Bungie and still made more money because they'd done it in the past. But this is where we had.
Well, think about what Sony just did to Destiny and the community there, and what they're doing to physical discs is the same thing. They don't care about the number that liked it. They're saying no, it's gone. They're just getting rid of it, right? Moving on. We're going to somewhere else. We're changing directions. Look at Marathon here, right? When it came to season 2, it kicked up, went back down dramatically within days, right? It was June 3rd, and by the 10th, 11th, it was already back down to where it was before the kick. And then here we are. The PvE came in, right? Boom! It went to its lowest at 5,000. PvE came in right here,
but that's not a big enough kick, bro.
And then now it's dropping back down already, right? Because it came back, went, nah, I'm good. I don't need to play this.
But it's not a big enough kick, bro.
So the next update, which is season 3, which they're putting a PvE in there as a full-time thing, I think it'll be half of this, right? So you're talking 88,000, then you got up to 40,000, then you're up to 14,000. This is like a movie in the box office every week going 80% drop off. This is the Supergirl of video games here, right? Drastically dropping fast. And unfortunately, if you just pivot, if you just pivot from what Marathon is to making Marathon potentially into what Destiny was, I think you're fucked both ways, because now you're screwing over the people that like Marathon, and now you're fucking with the people that like Destiny, and now putting Destiny inside of, and it's just a.
But that would also admit defeat. That would also admit defeat to Sony, not to Bungie, because Bungie would want it. But that would admit defeat to Sony.
Correct. Yeah. From that, we're going to move over to some entertainment news here, which is San Diego Comic-Con is happening, and Kevin Feige says he has plans for the MCU through 2042.
Doubtful.
Now, look,
bro, 2042.
Yeah, it's like 15 years, right?
Bro, please.
Right, that's what they did with the first 3 phases.
Irreparable damage.
Well, this is what they're doing, though. Ready? So Kevin Feige says MCU through 2042. As whether or not we can hold on until 2042, who knows? He says those movies will also be made. Who knows? Right? So Kevin Feige says that the X-Men will be the core of the next MCU saga. The next X-Men are far more than just Wolverine and far more than the original team. Fundamentally, the universe is the multi-stage saga. So basically, what they're going to do for what they did with Iron Man and Thor and Captain America, I think you're going to do the exact same thing here. They're going to take the X-Men and they're slowly going to start building up maybe solo movies or little, smaller movies to build up to the big thing of the X-Men, if it's another Avengers type of thing, right? So Kevin Feige says the Avengers Secret Wars will introduce a new universe that is easier for the audience to follow. It will establish a streamlined, simplified, single universe that's easier for the audience to follow. Some aspects will be feel familiar, but many things will be entirely new. Meaning, basically, he just gave away the plot point here, right? So, with the universe is all colliding.
But I read the Secret Wars comics back in the day. I know what the Secret Wars are.
I understand that.
It was a good line.
Well, he's saying for the next phases, though, instead of having all these multi-universes, they're just going to have the one which wins whatever they pick. Okay. And then it's going to move forward from here. And then they're also making a Miles Morales live action Spider-Man movie. And I think this is more evidence that Sony is going to sell off the Spider-Man franchise.
Yes.
Right. This is more evidence. I had a little theory that I talked about a couple of weeks ago. I think this is yet another. I think Sony wants to sell it. I think Disney, I talked about this years ago, by bringing Spider-Man into the Civil War type of thing. I said they opened that can of worms because they merged Spider-Man with the MCU to make him uplift, which showed, because then every movie he was in afterwards like blew up. It was the most successful Spider-Man out of all the 3. And because of that, people wanted more Spider-Man crossover with stuff. Hence why in Brand New Day, you see the Hulk, you see the Punisher, you see a whole bunch of other characters from the MCU coming over, which I think is more evidence that they are selling the Spider-Man brand. Now, maybe it doesn't happen this year or next year.
Sony wants their money back from Bungie. Selling Spider-Man will do that.
Oh, for sure. They're making billions, multi-billions. Right, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, where they paid $7 million for Spider-Man, and the franchise is worth $10 billion easily.
Easy. That's why I'm saying this is why to them burying Bungie and gambling on Marathon is not a big deal. When they sell Spider-Man, all is forgiven, and they'll be right back to where they were.
Yeah. So a lot coming out from all the news. All right. Okay. I know
it almost makes me want to go out and see if I can find some old issues of Secret Wars.
Well, we're all doom and gloom because of what happened to the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the last.
I'm not doom and gloom. I'm getting shit on from all directions.
No, but listen,
I don't even have an umbrella.
No, what I'm saying is, I'm kind of excited because I'm an X-Men guy. I'm kind of excited to see what they do with the X-Men. Right? Maybe this will rejuvenate me back into MCU, or it's just gonna fucking make me worse because they're gonna pull me in because of the X-Men, because that's what this movie is. Doomsday trailer. Did you see the trailer, Sarge?
I'll be honest with you. I didn't want to watch it yet.
Okay.
I didn't want to watch it because I was afraid it was going to give away too much, so I didn't watch it yet.
Well, what I'm about to say, it kind of gives you way too much because they show all the people we don't give a shit about, like Shang-Chi, Captain Falcon, right? Like Namor, Black Panther. That's not Black Panther.
They're gonna die,
right? And then they show X-Men, right? And him saying that the future is with X-Men. Obviously, the X-Men are the older X-Men, so they'll die off as well. And the new X-Men from a different universe will come in and whatnot. But they don't show that in the trailer. But what I'm saying is, I'm kind of excited for X-Men, but I hope they don't fuck it up. I swear to God, if they don't call them X-Men, first of all, if they don't call them the X-Men, I don't want three movies down the road and they go, we're the X-Men, and they call them mutants or anything ahead of time. If they fucking don't say X-Men, I'm not supporting Marvel.
We will see if the DEI initiative is finally removed and we go back to normal working conditions and we call them exactly what they are, because that's what they're called.
Yeah,
that's all. Yeah, that's what they're called.
We are the people. We are the X people. I swear to God, if they say X people, if they don't use X-Men, I'm done with Marvel.
Dark Taco, doesn't matter how many people they show the cast. Honestly, bro, listen, we already did the math. The movie's going to be almost 3 hours, but there's no way the screen time for these guys.
Everyone gets die.
They're going to die. Right? They're going to die. We know they're going to die. Listen, if you think they're not going to die, go read the comic.
No. We all know.
Go read. No. Not everybody knows. I think it should be this fun action movie, bro. People have not read The Secret Wars. Those of you who have not, go find one. You can find probably a compendium at this point. Go read The Secret Wars. It's a great series, and that way you'll at least know what the fuck's about to happen, because this is going to be like an all-star cast.
Yep. They have to murder everyone every 3 minutes if they want to get everyone that they announced in the cast. Remember, they showed all those chairs. Hey, everyone gets 2 minutes of airtime. I think it's 3 minutes of airtime.
How is that supposed to excite me?
Like, hey, Falcon, flies. Hey, I'm Captain America, flies. Everyone just dies.
Now, if they're going to show them die in a really cool fashion, cool.
Look, I've seen Professor X die 15 different ways now. Okay, I've seen him shake hands with Magneto 15 times. Like, great, they're back together. Are we doing this again? Are you going to show me them dying yet again? All right, that's what they're going to show me. Every time we see Patrick Stewart on screen, he dies. Every time. He's like, hey, you want to come back? He's like, sure, you're going to pay me? Yeah, you're going to die. Fantastic. Right? That's right. I'm excited, but not excited. I'm excited for X-Men, but I'm not really excited for Doomsday. I hope Shang-Chi, what we saw in the trailer, you haven't seen it yet, the literally 3 seconds we see of Shang-Chi, I hope that's all we see. I hope he dies literally a second after that scene that we saw in the trailer, and Gambit murders him. I hope that's what happens. I think what a pointless character in that movie. His father was a better character in the movie than Shang-Chi itself.
But if you're trying to establish people to come watch the movie, right? If you're trying to establish people to come watch the movie, what better way to do that than to pull in all the 10% of the people that watched all the other movies into the one movie? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like if I'm going to pull in the Shang-Chi guys, I'm going to pull in the other ones, the bad Brain locked up. Brain locked up. Black Widow. Like if you're pulling the 10% from the Black Widow and you pull 10%, like you pull the 10% of the people that went to watch it, all to watch the one movie. You'll get them to watch it. Their guys all die, but maybe the movie's cool enough for you to hang around for the next sequel, right? That's what they're doing.
I think they're going to use the X-Men like Disney used Han, Leia, and Luke in Star Wars.
Oh,
to get you in the seats and then just murder them all.
Don't say that, bro.
That's what they do. It's
going to be like the Transformers movie all over again, and you're the 8-year-old, but now you're a 40-something-year-old man. You're going to feel the same way.
Yep. That's what they're doing.
I remember when I saw that in the movie theater, I was basically my mouth was open the half time. I was like, what's happening?
I cried in that theater. Jesse Max says 30. They're using modern day Secret War comics, not the old ones. That's what they say, but they pick and pull from it, right? Because they're not going to do a 1-to-1 adaptation of it. There's no way.
Because that would be too good.
Yeah, they can't do that.
You would actually have a script like that. The movie would be too good if you did 1-for-1.
They got to subvert your expectations. They don't want you to already know what's happening. They got 100%. You're gonna be like, that's not what happened in the comic, because they rewrote it. Otherwise, why would you bring on writers? Why would you bring on the directors and stuff like that? Hell, we've known in the past, they're like, they told people not to read the comics because they don't want them to act like the people in the comics. They want to go in blind. Keep it real.
Yeah,
right?
That sounds like a great rationale. So awesome. Don't read the comics of the movie we're about to make. We want it to be authentic. That makes sense.
We'll see what happens. All right, the last thing we're going to talk about, and while we're talking about this, Sarge, we're going to get some Q&A in. If you guys have a question, hit up the queue in front of your comment, and we'll mark it. And then I'll answer yours right now, Dupless, because you asked before I put the banner up. Is Nick Fury still a thing? Maybe. Who knows? It's the multiverse. They can bring people back. Black Widow's dead, but is she? She'll come back for a second, then she'll die again because they couldn't afford her. They're like, we'll pay you 10 million. 20? Okay, you're there for 2 minutes. Great, fantastic. We'll see what happens. The last thing I want to talk about, Sarge, is there is a not that anyone cares, okay? And I want to know what you think about most of these movies are garbage. Okay, Atari for some reason, right? My first console I've ever. Yeah, Atari's my first console, and I love it. But holy shit, over the years in GXG, we've talked about hotels, extra boxes coming back, the TV shows. Like we've talked about everything, right? So Atari and Universal Pictures have signed a deal, potentially to make 10 movies based on the following games.
No shot.
Okay, Asteroids.
Okay, Asteroids is the end of the world scenario. We've already seen it. Deep Impact
and stuff. Yeah,
we already saw that.
Adventure
might be good if they embellish. It could be like a Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Okay,
that could be a decent one.
Berserker.
That's like Tron.
I was just saying
Berserker would be like Tron. They're not going to do that one.
Breakout.
No, because you have to turn in a ball and a paddle trying to break into something. The movie version of that one would be a bank heist. Like Breakout would be a bank heist. Yeah. It would be stupid to say it's an Atari
or a jailbreak.
Yeah, but it still sounds stupid.
Yeah. Centipede.
No shot.
I feel like Centipede. I feel like Centipede.
It's a B movie horror film.
Well, I feel like B movie, or it's like a Godzilla type of film.
Yeah, where it's a B movie horror film.
Yeah, it's a giant centipede comes out of the ground, and it's called like Centipede, right?
Yeah.
Then we have Crystal Castles.
Okay, now that one would be animated, and it would be like Kung Fu Panda.
Oh, I can see
it. That's the only one I can see that you spend money on, right? Because Crystal Castle is about a bear who collects crystals for some kind of power, and then he's like Winnie the Pooh at the same time. He's got to eat the stuff at the end, but you could turn it into like a plot movie of some kind of fictional character. It could be animated. That's a plausibility. Millipede, same thing. The sequel to Centipede.
Yeah,
it's a B-rated horror movie. Same thing.
Missile Command is 100% with Matthew Broderick.
Matthew
What-
Broderick.
You know, talking
War
about
games, like war games.
Yeah, it's like board
It
games.
would just be a remaster of war games. That's
Yeah.
all that would be. Yes.
Pong.
Pong. No, bro. Just no. The
What the
original
fuck?
video game.
What the fuck are we doing with Pong?
It's a tennis match. That's all that is. You have to do like a tennis game. No.
Oh, I got it. No, I got it. Stars Ben Stiller and Luke Wilson in a what was that movie they did the modeling
Who and who?
Zoolander, like Zoolander,
Yeah, Zoolander. Okay.
right? But it's Pong. So it's a stupid concept. So they bring Ben Stiller in because he's always in fucking stupid movies, right? They bring him in and Luke Wilson and they play tennis guys, right? And it's like their career, but they're Pong players, professional Pong players, like dodgeball meets
It'd be horrible.
Zoolander.
It'd be
That's
horrible.
what that.
It would be worse. It would be worse than the Centipede Millipede movies. Right now, Yar's Revenge.
That could be actually good.
Yar's Revenge is at the top of the list. You could make that into a movie.
Yeah. You could make that. You could make that into actually a really good movie.
It's a sci-fi. It's a sci-fi thriller about how an intergalactic race of aliens is secretly trying to consume the Earth, and nobody knows about it, and that a special force of guys is out hunting them, and they run into one of the aliens who is defecting against their own kind in order to save Earth. Like, that's the plot of that little game. That's the actual plot.
Who directs Yar's Revenge? Nolan.
Nolan wouldn't take it because he wouldn't want to ruin his career.
And Nolan takes Pong.
Who's the guy that did? Who's the guy that did Fifth Element?
Oh, I can't think of the.
Who's the guy that did Fifth Element? The director that did Fifth Element could do it.
Hold on. Who did Fifth Element?
No, Michael Bay would fuck it up, Dupless.
Luke Benson.
Like I think he could do Yar's Revenge.
Yeah, I can see
because it's the same type. It could be a fun movie like that.
Yeah, I can see it.
Same type of thing.
The hell did it go? There it goes. Yeah, Michael Bay. Michael Bay can.
First of all, the idiots who put this list together need to be shot. Like, whoever's working for Atari and Universal Pictures thought about these.
Where the fuck is Pitfall?
Like, well, Pitfall's Indiana Jones.
Oh, it's active. Well, it's Activision too.
Right, Pitfall's Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Keystone Capers.
You do Keystone Capers.
Also
yeah.
Activision. Also Activision. Yeah. There's a lot of Atari games that could. Dragster. You do a movie about Dragster. You do a guy who's like Days of Thunder, except he's a drag racer. Right. You could do that. Right. There's a lot of games you could do that with.
Love and Thunder was so good. What a piece of shit that movie was. God damn it. You just bring that up. It
just hurts my insides a little bit. Like, I feel like I get stabbed. Where the side.
Where the fuck did they move? Oh, for God's sakes. Did they move? They did something and I can't. How the fuck am I supposed to mark stuff in this? What did you do, StreamYards?
Does that make sense though, Krebsy? What do you get out of that? If the VP of engineering leaves after 2 months, then
yeah, we didn't get to that story.
What's going on with that? What's going on with that?
All right. Let's get to, we have a couple of questions. We'll leave the banner rolling for a little bit longer. Let's get to Q&A. All right. Let's get to the first question. Krebsy says, has Sarge seen the Total War 40K gameplay and does it look good or bad? I didn't see it myself, so I have no comment.
Are you okay? I want to make sure we're talking about the right thing.
It literally just showed earlier today.
I saw all of them. There's multiples. So are you talking about Total War 40K or Dawn of War 4? Just so I know before I start talking, because it's two separate things. I want to make sure you're talking about the right one. You're talking about Total War, right? The massive campaign, that one. The four factions. Total War. Okay. So from what I saw, It looks promising. It looks innovative because remember, you're not dealing with melee solely. You're dealing with range combat. So we're still waiting to see how it really affects it and what are your options, because groups of guys shooting at each other is just basically the larger version of some of the other real-time strategy type games. But when they go into melee, they all have like the individual syncs. So that makes the whole game kind of like a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for here? I think there's a good shot. I think it's a good shot. It depends on how the campaign plays and what the tools are for the UI to make it smooth, because it seems like there's a lot of stuff going on that screen that's overdone and too many clicks. Like you're doing too many things to do something simple. They're going to have to simplify the UI a little bit. There's too many menus, too many sub-menus, and there's too much going on the screen. You need to be able to You have to be able to move the things around on the screen for the UI. You need the top of the screen open. You have to be able to see. And some of the, I think it was the Necrons and the Adeptus Mechanicus, they look too similar when that actual, I guess that what the zone of control that the Necrons have, and so when you're looking at that many guys, it's hard to see who's selected. Like they're not giving you enough information to know which guys I'm controlling and what their status is. UI is very important for a game like that. They're going to have to clean that up a little bit, but it looked good. It looked good.
All right, give me a second. I'm looking up because his question. This one is Spider-Man prediction. Okay, I'm gonna bring up the number, Sarge. Right. So we have
what do you mean, like what's going to make?
Yeah, what's going to make opening weekend, right? So we'll bring in.
Does it come out at the end of the month?
It comes out July 31st.
So it comes out Wednesday next week.
Yeah.
29th.
Brand new day. What was the one? What was it called? It was 2014. No, that's Amazing Spider-Man 2. It was Homecoming, No Way Home, Multiverse, and Brand New Day, right? Is that right? Oh, Far From Home. Far From Home. Okay. All right. So we got Spider-Man Homecoming, which is, it made in its opening weekend 117 million. Okay. The budget was 175. It made 117 just domestic opening weekend, and it made a worldwide of 880. So what we're going to do, Sarge, I'll show you all the films, okay? And then give me your number for the domestic opening and then also for the worldwide number, okay? So that's one film. The next film, is 2019, Spider-Man Far From Home, okay? Far From Home had a $92 million opening weekend, okay? And $1.1 billion at the box office. Then we have Spider-Man No Way Home, which brought in $260 million opening domestic weekend, and it made $1.9 billion worldwide. So now we have Brand New Day. Okay, the Brand New Day, Sarge. What do you think?
What year did go back to that the last one? When did that come out?
2021.
That's COVID years. Okay, so
no one was going to the theater then.
Yeah, that's
260.
But that's not really true.
I know that. That's what they said.
Yeah, right. I got you. All right. They weren't going anywhere else, is what I'm trying to say. Like they weren't going to work, so they're going to the movies.
Captive audience. Yeah,
right. Captive audience. All right, so $650 domestic and 1.3
50 domestic for the weekend.
Yeah, 650 domestic.
I don't think any movie's ever done that.
Oh, it says right there. You said domestic, total domestic.
No. You're looking at the total domestic. No. Just the domestic opening. Just the opening.
Oh, the
opening weekend.
Opening weekend.
Yeah.
Okay, so opening weekend.
The lowest.
Hang on, I'm doing the numbers.
It's 260.
I'm doing the numbers. 45. 165 domestic.
165 domestic.
165 domestic.
Okay.
And 1.5 billion total. Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna go with what we got. We got first movie 117. Second
I'm
movie.
gonna write this down. Hang on.
Oh, we don't have to write it down. It's literally on a stream. Second movie was 92, 1.1, and the third movie was 260, 19. I'm gonna go. I don't know if it beats No Way Home. It might. I'm gonna say domestic opening weekend. Is it in IMAX? Chat, is it in IMAX? It wasn't shot in IMAX, though. I think it is in IMAX. I'm going to go with 2. I think it's going to beat No Way Home. I'm going to go 264 domestic opening weekend. 264 domestic opening weekend.
So just over. So just over. No,
just over what they did domestic opening here. Okay. And worldwide, I'm going to go 1. What'd you say?
I said 1.5.
Yeah, I'm around that. I'm going to say 1.65. Yeah, I'm going to say 1.65. So it won't be as much as this one because this one was like the culmination. And this wasn't supposed to happen but obviously, so I think it makes like 1.6 million is what my prediction is.
So billion, 1.6 billion.
Yeah, 1.6 billion. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else opening up along with it that's got a competition?
The Odyssey's out now. No, this is the end. This is the summer, the end of the summer. This is like this is it. This is the big guy. Yeah. Let me see what you guys are saying in chat.
We don't know what Odyssey's doing yet. I can't believe the number. I can't
believe
I
know it wasn't shot in IMAX. I know it wasn't shot in IMAX. Doesn't mean they can't show it in IMAX. That's all I'm saying. It has IMAX showings. Okay. Yeah, but it's not mandatory to see it. It's just people like going to an IMAX theater. 180 domestic, 1.3 billion superhero movies went doing well. I think this one does well because it's bringing in with Punisher and Hulk and stuff like that. We'll see. Let's go back to the next question. We've got, how does an AI just break out of training environment to hack a startup company called Huggy Face? I don't know anything about this. I saw this. I didn't even look into it. I can't answer. I have no idea.
I want to read about it though. Send me the link.
It's in the stories. Yeah, I can't answer this for you, Cubsy. I don't even have a thought on it. Next is Altern. Do you think Sony will change their mind about discs, realistically speaking? Short term, no. They've already changed. They're already in the process of converting their manufacturer, right? So I don't think they're like
this is an all or nothing proposition.
Yeah, I don't think they're like, oh, just kidding, we're going back. I think they're making the wrong choice. I think they're going to feel it. And I think Sony's going to be in big trouble because I think they're underestimating the power of the people. Nintendo power. No. GameStop was the power of the people, wasn't it? That was the slogan, power of the people, GameStop. I think
that's Black Panthers, bro.
No, but that's where the power of the people was. That's what it was.
Power to the players.
Oh, power to the players. That was power of the people is Black Panther. Yeah.
That's Black Panthers, bro.
Power to the people. Yeah. I think they're underestimating the power of the people of how many people want, because it's not what they're saying. They're skewing it because of the media and stuff like that. Right. And anyone doesn't believe that they're not skewing it. I got a bridge to sell you in the desert. Okay. Like there's no way. There's still millions and millions of people buying physical. And yet they're saying that no one, basically, it's just a small percentage of people.
You don't even have to use that defense. The only defense you need is that music, movies, and books are both ways.
Right.
There's no reason. There's no reason why all of a sudden video games are only one way. So it's just nonsense.
So realistically speaking, maybe they don't change their way of the physical. Maybe they do like a key card thing, right? Maybe they do something along those.
People start pirating. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
They're going to burn their own games. They're going to burn their own discs. I'm not worried about it. Let Sony make the move. Let's see what happens. That's fine.
Alter says, "Can I buy a subs in your channel with my new Sony coins?" I don't think so. No, you would have to convert them into that. Then
into 30 coins.
Yeah, they,
The 30,
30
you have to get the 30 coins.
Yes. No, you will not be able to buy with stable coins.
And you get
Maybe
30 coins. You only get 10 coins for 30. You get 30 coins for 10.
I'll tell you what though. I will accept Bitcoin, Dogecoin. What other coins out there? I'll take all the other coins.
XRP is good.
I'll take XRP.
Yeah,
we'll take that. Krebsy says, "Do you think the VP of engineering leaving Xbox after just 2 or 3 months is the first hint of what's going to happen with the rest of the C-suite?" Me and Sarge, I literally brought this up. We didn't bring it to the show because I was like, I don't know if we could, because it would be more of a speculation, 100%, right? It's kind of odd to me that Asha would hire someone that she worked with, that was close with, and he came up into Xbox and then just 2 months later left, right? What that tells me is, because he was like the head of AI when they worked together down below, right? So now he's up at Xbox. Either he had a glimpse on the inside and was like, "Oh no, I'm fucking out. Like I'm not dealing with this. I don't want to go with this." And he's AI, by the way. He's AI. He's pro AI, working for the AI company, part of it. He got there and was like, "Yeah, I'm not going to do this, Asha. I'm going to go back somewhere else and do something." Like he's just like, "I don't want any part of this." And maybe he has a little bit of integrity. Maybe he has a little bit of morals and was like, "You know what? I don't like where we're going. I'm pulling out of this." That's just my speculation. Because 2 months after taking a job that you worked with someone for 4 years, and then they hired you up when she got promoted, and you're like, "Yeah, I'll take the job," and then all of a sudden you're like, "No." I mean, I would have to read more about it. If like there's family, maybe he's moving, family type of stuff,
illness in the family,
yeah, something. I don't know.
Like if I can rule out illness in the family and that kind of thing, I would say something else, but it's too weird. Listen, you always want to make more money. That's a promotion. You don't say no to a promotion unless something else is going on.
All right, let's go to the next one. Eclipse says, "So I just got this new shirt that came in yesterday talking about the 500th episode of GXG. I can't remember where I did. Get the shirt again." Oh, well, thank you very much for that. I swear I didn't pay him to do that. Let me bring it up. I didn't pay him to do that. I swear. Here is the storefront. We have quite a bit of stuff. The spread shop. You too can get this beautiful shirt of the 500th episode of Generation X Gaming.
Did they pull that kid up from outside to wear shirts for some money? Is that what that?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, he might be AI, Sarge. I'll be honest with you. I don't even think he's real.
Well, if he's not real, then why bother putting him in the damn shirt?
I don't know. I'm just letting you know. I don't know what the site
does.
Why
not just put it in a mannequin? What's the difference?
Well, you can show it without the stuff. But there is our 500th shirt. You got hats and mugs and different things that you can purchase there. I put a whole order in, so you're going to see me in the next couple weeks. I got multiple shirts and mugs coming in. I got hats coming in.
Do I have to order a shirt?
If you want to wear one.
I gotta look at
that. It's usually how it works.
Which one is the 500 with the one on the left, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but if you go to here and you go down to all product designs, you can see a whole slew of different shirts, different styles. Sarge, we have a polo shirt. You can get a polo shirt, right? You can get a.
Well, but I don't golf, so.
Well, that's fine. You can get a sweater. You can get
This is Florida.
Long sleeve. You get a beanie.
This is Florida.
Athletic jacket. You can get this one, Sarge. It's got stars on it.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Or wait for it. Wait, the best one yet. Hold on. Where is it? Do I have it? Oh, I don't have it for this one.
Just a t-shirt? You got just a t-shirt?
Yeah, there's t-shirts. You just get a t-shirt. Yeah, it's a top boring t-shirt right there. Numbers standard t-shirt. You can get in all different colors. See, he's a different model. Look, don't they look so?
Oh, with goatee and without, he's definitely AI.
Yeah. So there you go. There's the shirts. Thank you very much for purchasing a shirt, Eclipse. Appreciate it. Let's go to the next one. Jesse Mack says 30. You see Activision that they are making a Call of Duty movie taking place in the Modern Warfare universe, and why? I'll be honest. I don't like. You can. There's so many movies out there. You can just call it Call of Duty. That's what it is. Like I don't need to see
like if they do like a Black Hawk Down, but it's Call of Duty, that'd be cool.
Yeah, but I don't care.
No, I know you don't. I know you don't.
I'm not going to go watch a Call of Duty film.
Well, I'm not buying the games. What makes you think I'm going to go watch the movie? But I like military. I like military movies.
Yeah, I would rather
like
watch.
if they don't call it Call of Duty, make me go watch it and then say based on Call of Duty. Like I'm like fuckers. Like like that. Like that's how you have to do it.
Yeah, if they put Call of Duty,
you make a good call. You make a good military movie.
They're going to make
and
it
at the very end of the credits, it goes based on the Call of Duty franchise. I'd be like, you fuckers. Like that's exactly how I would do it.
They're gonna make it like the Fast and Furious, but Call of Duty films. No, I'm good. Altern says, do you think
it'd be like the A-Team, bro?
Oh.
It'd be like the A-Team.
Yeah, they tried. Remember, they tried to remake the A-Team. Altern says, do you think Marathon will pivot to be a PvE in order to gain some market? Yeah, I think they are. I think in season 3 they're doing PvE, and I think it's. I believe it needs it. First off, but too little, too late. The game is done, and now they're pivoting too hard because they said they weren't going to put any PvE in there, and then all of a sudden now they're putting a whole mode of PvE, not just a timed one, but like an actual one that's coming into season 3. So I don't think it's going to do anything. I think it's going to do absolutely nothing. What about you, Sarge?
I really don't like to discuss Marathon anymore. I think that if you just get rid of all the people that think that everybody wants an androgynous, neon-looking character in a first-person shooter, like I don't care. Like you had the goods. All you had to do was do better with the goods that you had and stop wasting time. Instead, you wanted to pivot to do something completely different that nobody wanted. It was shown to you that nobody wanted. And now the only reason why you're doing it is because you're the least, you're the second choice of 2 bad choices.
Yeah, right.
That's it.
Kevin says, do you think Xbox gets investigated with Congress members upset at Asha abusing her H-1B visas, asking for her to remove from government task force? Yeah, I saw the clip of the guy. He's looking one of the.
I need to know more. It sounds like conflict of interest is what it sounds like, but I need to know more.
Well, she's a representative now of the of the government, but she's with that. But she's also brought in H-1B visas, so she's taking jobs away from people. So they want her removed basically from her position, basically. So,
in the government, she wants to
removed from the government, not from Xbox.
Yeah, because it's a conflict of interest. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. I don't
know if they're trying to get her out from Xbox itself, which would be quite humorous, because then what is Xbox going to do? They're going to Phil, can you come back in?
Can you find another? You find another Terminator?
Yeah, Matt Booty will take over.
You find another Terminator?
Altern says, would you play the new Halo remastered on stream?
Is it on Game Pass?
Sarge actually asked before the stream. He said, is Halo on Game Pass? I said, yes. He says, do you want to play it? I said,
I'll play it.
He said, sure.
The original, right? You're talking about the original.
The new one that just came out.
Yeah. We got to play it on a harder difficulty. We got to play it.
Okay. Yeah. So next Wednesday we'll play Halo. We'll start the campaign and campaign Evolve. Right.
Sweet.
So there you go. Yes, we are playing it. We'll start next week. Next, Altern says, do you think that Xbox make Phil Links cheaper? Phil Links cheaper than the PlayStation 6. Oh, Helix cheaper than the PlayStation 6. Felix. Will they gain more users, or is it too late for them? I don't even think even if they make it cheaper, what are they gonna make it cheaper by? Like $100? It's still a PC at that point. And if it's over $1,000,
gaming PC,
right? If it's $1,000, there's no reason to buy an Xbox or a PlayStation. There really isn't, because they're not going to make games for that system right away. So if you buy a PC, all the games that come out are made on PCs, and they're optimized for the PCs, right? So you're getting the new games on the PC because that's what they are, and your graphics card is what it is. But the PlayStations and the Xboxes, they have to wait 2-3 years to get games made for that platform, because they're not going to be. It makes no sense. So I'd rather invest into a PC.
And the worst part about it, that makes no sense. It's just one pile on it doesn't make sense. How do you complain about the prices of chips going up, the scarcity of components, and then you think it's a good idea to come out with a new system because that's what you should do, even though everything's against you market-wise? Does that make sense? We lived through this. Xbox 360 and PS2 had the same issue. There was a chip shortage near that time period, and then we just stayed with them
Yep.
for 13 years or 11 years. Sorry, 11 years. We stayed with them 11 years. Everything was fine. Everybody made money. We made games. Everything was optimized. I don't understand why you want to make a piece of hardware that you're complaining about not making money on and want to release it in the most harshest market possible. I don't get it. But okay, you do you, boo.
Yeah. Next, Chopper Eric says, how do you see the investigation and the lawsuit into the RAM manufacturers ultimately going, especially given that this is the second time they've been caught doing this, leaving precedent for them? Go ahead, Sarge.
Hopefully, the public has good lawyer team to prove it, because you have to be able to prove it.
Well, I think this is coming from the actual. I don't think it's from people. I think it's from the government.
No. Even if you take up the court, you got to prove. You got to prove. Even though it's happened in the past, new laws were passed in the last decade.
Well, the problem is when they find them guilty. Okay.
What's the actual fine?
What's the fine?
A slap on the wrist doesn't matter.
If the fine is $100 million,
nothing.
It's got to be. Now we didn't talk about. There was a story before about Google
getting fined
for
a fine of $1 billion.
Right,
that's
$1 billion.
That's more like it.
That's the starting point, right? So if they're caught doing this and they actually found guilty doing this, they need to implement billions of dollars of a fine, not just hundreds of millions. Like there's Sony's paying a $7 million. What is that? $7 million. That's one microtransaction.
It's like $20. It's like $20.
It's stupid. So they need to fine them billions of dollars, because even then they won't care, because they'll be like, oh, we'll make that back, right? But they have to set a precedence. They can't let these organizations work this way, because it's like a cartel.
A ball.
Yeah. So hopefully they get it. And real quick, Carbsy says Odyssey had 123 million opening weekend. Oh, because I said it was higher. I thought it was 160, right? It's 123, but the problem with this is there's a shit ton of people watching it in IMAX and nobody watching it in a I right before the stream started. Me and Sarge looked at IMAX is packed. Like IMAX here, I'll pull up one up right now, because we actually have an IMAX theater here, like a true IMAX theater. Okay, it's at Point Orlando, and so I think they have a showing at 10:55, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Yeah, 10:55 at the actual IMAX theater. So I'll bring it up. And it's a big theater, right? It's a big theater. This is almost completely full. Okay. Well, what's happening here? What happened? It vanished. We're not close to the time yet. Okay, so this is what this is what the seats look like. Okay, they put the little. So this is pretty full, right? This is hundreds of people inside this theater. Okay, if I go to a regular showing, right now, I'll just go to a regular showing, and we're talking like small theaters, large theaters. They ain't nobody in these things. Like the standard viewing is not saying. So there's less people watching Odyssey. Okay, but they're paying more money. So they're making good money, but there's a lot less people not watching the actual film. Now I'm going to go to this. Oh, I can't. Oh, yeah, they have a 11:20 showing tonight. Now remember, the 10:55 was packed there. And then here is the this is the same theater where the IMAX is showing is. 10:55 packed. Here at 11:20, there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 people, right? 20 people in the thing. So people are not going. Now, the reason I think Spider-Man is going to do so well is because Spider-Man is he's the largest comic book character on the planet. Everybody knows Spider-Man. Everyone likes Tom Holland as Spider-Man. Every movie has done better than the last, basically. And I think this one is the next one that beats the last one, which is the multiverse. But I think a lot of people want to watch it. I think Spider-Man just brings in people, where this not so much. All right. Yeah, if you don't watch it in the IMAX movie, you get half the movie cut off. You're like, you guys want to watch us like this? Actually, those of you watching right now in the vertical format, that's basically what the standard is, right? Standards gets to watch us with the crop sides and a very small screen, where if you just come to standard, here we are in widescreen. Look, I can see my arms waving, but inside the other one, the standard brokey version over on the vertical side, right? That nobody can see, right? It's all cut off. So that's what it's like. All right. Generation X Gaming, a weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories in the past week. We rant along the way. Episode 497 is in the can. If you guys like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you like to go over to our apparel store or to Spotify or iTunes or Apple Music, you can download some of the albums I've created. You can buy a shirt, a mug, or whatever. I do appreciate every single one of you guys coming out. We're off for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll be back on Monday for the Daily Grind, which is a show that we do Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. You can also watch me over on Fake Wizard News on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Appreciate it very much. You guys have a great rest of your day, evening, and night, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Game on, guys.
Retro meets the now and here. Gaming tales you need to hear. Laugh and shout and sometimes sneer. Memories from all those years. Console wars and secret tips. Tips and tricks from pixel trips. News that pours from gaming sips.